Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. How you doing, guys? You all right? Let me just check everything is live. We're all good. It looks like we're good. And I can takes out studio mode. Excellent. By the way, guys, we are once again just cruising along on this one today. There wasn't much VR news that we could find, so it's going to be a nice general chat. We have got the Discord community top 10 VR games to go through, and that has informed me it is quite surprising. So and he's basically worked it all out what that top 10 is, and thank you to everyone who contributed towards that and who is in the Discord. So let me do some introductions. This show is called the VR Link. If you haven't been here before, it's a Sunday VR chat show, and it's also the last episode for 2019. Unfortunately, South Ketchup can't be with us today, and I'll be absolutely honest, I think he's just on the piss. I can't remember what he said. I think he's just out getting drunk with some friends. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty much exactly what he is doing, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, so as I was saying, if you haven't been here before, this show is all about you and us being able to have a chat, discussing virtuality news and games releases, and we also have the VR link on Spotify and Anchor as a audible file, so that's pretty cool. So you can follow us on there. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the amazing patrons and channel members whose names are listed below. And if you're looking for ways to support the channel, please check the links in the description. And while you're there, please join in the community Discord. It's full of positive VR enthusiasts and headset owners of all variations. And you can leave us questions and or any conversation points you would like brought up in future shows. So now let me introduce my co-host, Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming.
Hi, guys.
And Lincoln Clay from Lincoln Clay 670.
You know who it is? It is the godfather of VR, the ageless wonder, the most interesting man to have a PC crap out on him.
I think he's had 3. I think you've had 3, haven't you? Did you say?
Yep, that's the third one, and it could be the third one within a year.
Oof.
Dude,
Jesus.
I mean, are these ones you built yourself, or I mean, to be honest,
these are store bought. These are store bought computers. The first two, the SSD went out on them because I think it was just cheap hardware to begin with. But I actually think the SSD might have went out on this Alienware PC as well. I won't know. They said it'd probably take about 2 or 3 weeks before I get it back.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, I've never built a PC.
Neither have I. Well, no, actually, I did. I did build one. I didn't build it by myself. A guy was like walking me along, and then like halfway through, I was like, "All right, move out of the way and let me finish this."
Okay.
Because, I really want to get my hands dirty.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Thank you for all being here. I know it's still the Christmas holidays. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. How was your Christmas, guys? Was it all good?
Not bad, except I only had one day off from work, which was Christmas Day.
Okay.
For me, other than my PC taking a crap, I had a wonderful Christmas. I got a chance to go over to my parents' house and show my father Star Trek Bridge Crew. As I've said before in the past, his health is failing to the point where he can't travel anymore.
I want to hear this story anyway, dude, because you got to say what happened. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I was very, very emotional that day. Voice cracking, tears streaming down my face. And I sat next to him put the headset on him, and he didn't say anything, but you could tell he was amazed by it because he was just looking around like that. And I had my arm around him, still crying, asking him if he could see the Enterprise, and he said, "Yeah." So I know he liked it, and it meant a lot to me to show it to him because my father is the hardest Trekkie that you'll ever know, as far as still being clothed like a normal person. Anybody else who likes Star Trek more than my father, they take it to the next level, dressing up like something right out of the show. So that was big to me to show that to my father. It really, really meant a lot to me. So I think VR as a whole for me to be able to do this.
What ship did you put him on, dude? Did you put him on like all of them, or?
No, see, he's not even in any condition to play it. I just wanted him to see the ship in its full size.
Oh,
so when
he was in the
game,
shuttle, was he?
Yeah, when it orbits the
that's
ship.
brilliant.
So
that is amazing. Anyway.
So I wanted him to see that. But I did take the Quest over to my brother's house as well. And I showed it to them. I showed them Vader Immortal. They were amazed by that. Beat Saber they thought was pretty fun. One friend is even considering getting some sort of VR headset. Now, my brother, ever the devil's advocate, he insists that he feels like those ships in Star Trek Bridge Crew weren't as big as they're supposed to be.
So, they're not to scale. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he claims. But my brother's, he's a person he's the devil's advocate. If you go left, he wants to go right. If you go up, he wants to go down.
Well, I don't know what happened, but my oldest son, he's now turned into one of those people where you'll be watching a film and he'll just go, in a minute, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and it'd just be, it's so obvious. And I'm like, yeah, but sometimes you might know that, but you just got to enjoy the ride, almost. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And
he was, my brother was amazed by it. But he's one of those guys that not only is he's the devil's advocate, he's one of those guys when you get into a conversation with him, the conversation isn't over until he gets the last word in.
Oh man, they're the worst.
Yeah. So, but there's, I've never seen any official documentation on any kind of Star Trek starships that give us the actual length and scale of these ships. I've never heard anything on the TV shows or the movies that say how long these ships are. But he insists that these ships are normally longer than an aircraft carrier. So I don't know. So, but
What
it was Christmas.
the Starship Enterprise? You say, dude, it'd be so much bigger than an aircraft carrier, surely. How many people?
That's a pretty long ship because, like, our newest aircraft carrier over here in America is the USS Gerald Ford, and that aircraft carrier is 1,100 feet long.
Let me check.
So
I'm sure there's somebody who's worked out how big the thing is.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So anybody in the chat knows how long any of these ships are, let us know.
How big was that ship you said? So it says here, are you doing meters or feet?
Feet.
Okay, so the USS Enterprise, which I think is the original Enterprise, is 2,379.76 feet.
What?
That's what I'm saying. They are like colossal. Do you know what I mean? And I remember, and I don't know, the NCC 1701D, the one from Next Generation, is probably even bigger. So,
2,000 feet long?
That's what they're saying, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I knew they were massive. I knew they were ridiculous because they're like, yeah, so.
I wanted to guess that those ships were probably about 800 or 900 feet long.
Man, I always remember watching a film where they're docking and you see a spaceship, and I remember thinking, that's got to be absolutely massive, and I'm pretty sure I did Google it years ago, and it was pretty huge.
So yes, Mrs. Gamertag, as much as I hate to admit it, yes, my brother sounds like he is correct.
Damn. How you doing, guys? Nat, so how was your Christmas, man? All good?
Yeah, like I say, just unfortunately it was only one day off, Christmas Day off. But yeah, apart from that, it was good. I spent it with family, so that was cool.
No, how did they feel about your beard? Do they still trust you without the beard?
No, my nephew wouldn't come in the same room as me.
Oh, don't blame him. It's a shock.
When I was a kid, it was the other way around. Kids used to be scared of guys with full beards.
No, I had a problem with him initially for the first 3 years of his life. He'd never come near me, and then it all just changed one day for some reason. But yeah, obviously this is the first time he's seen me without the beard, and back to the first 3 years of his life, he just wouldn't be in the same room.
But I have to say, Nat, that if I were to see you on the street today, the way you looked, and then see you on the street maybe a week later, the way you look
I wouldn't
now,
recognize
and
you.
You could have walked right past me and not said a word to me, and I wouldn't have known it was you.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when they part traded, I forgive you, my son.
How's it going, everyone in the chat? We've got Dustin Ward. We've got Midlife. How you doing, DJ? Dominic, thank you for being here. How's it going? Davo, Mick, Voidcat, German Rifter, Mrs. GT, thank you for the water. Did I say hello to German Rifter? I'm sure I did. TGK, Keith Hunt. How you doing, guys? You all good? JD Max. I think he's actually at work at the moment, so thank you ever so much for joining us. The Scottish Gamer.
Yeah, always JD Max. I always enjoy watching his sim racing over on Twitch. So he's a pretty good racer. So if you guys get a chance, make sure you check out JD Max on Twitch.
Yeah, for sure. If you like that sim racing, JD, feel free to put a link in for your channel, man, if you want to. It's absolutely cool, man. Thank you. Who else have we got? We got anyone else who's joined us today?
That man has a crazy setup in his house.
What, JD?
Yeah.
Dude. So let's do the top 10 community Discord, which would be, hold on, the Scottish Gamer. What's he put? Oh, cool. He wrote the same thing. Excellent stuff. Yeah. Sweet. I thought maybe it's something else. VR Bug, how's it going,
almost
dude?
2,400 feet long. Oof.
That's crazy, isn't it? It is
absolutely. He said that's almost a half a mile in distance, which he would be right. A full mile is about 5,200 feet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. And excellent. Yeah, he's at work. Cool. What was I going to say? So we've got our top 10 done by the community Discord. And you were saying, Nat, that it is
There's some very big surprises. I mean, I thought there was some surprises when we did our top 10. That's got nothing on what the communities picked out for what's in their top 10s. There's a couple in there that I'm really glad to see that made the top 10
Mm-hmm.
because I really like the games. But yeah, it's unique. You could tell also certain people that watch it have only got PlayStation VR because they've literally just picked out PlayStation VR games, which is all good.
Yeah, yeah.
I say it's the show. What we're all about is to get people engaged in VR. We don't care if you've got PlayStation VR, Quest, a PC. We want you to enjoy the experiences that you can have.
Absolutely.
I
But
would
yeah, that's
agree,
cool.
and I think VR is growing so much to the point where I think we're actually starting to get a few bandwagoners jumping on, people who just follow the trends that probably don't know much about VR, but they know it's trending right now.
Yeah.
And
I've got
so
people who've joined the channel who are waiting to get VR. And they're just interested, you know what I mean? They've seen a VR channel or they just like live streams or whatever. And yeah, they're just there waiting, you know, or they're one of the people who are waiting for stocks to come back in for the Quest because a lot of people seem to be getting the Quest. So, and I can't remember.
and I definitely can't knock that. To me, it doesn't matter what headset you get as long as you get one. And do make sure you keep us in the loop through Twitter and that kind of stuff. Let us know when you get a headset. I will gladly shoot you guys my usernames through Oculus and Steam and that kind of stuff. And hopefully we can get together and play something.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Nat, what was you used the same score
I used
chart?
exactly same score chart that we used on last week's show for ourselves.
Okay.
I used exactly the same one for the community. So again, thank you to the community for putting your top 10s in.
Yep.
I gotta say, it was really. I'm not going to do what I did last week, where I go through each one individually, but it was really interesting. And I say some games that were their favourites. It was like, oh, okay, I get it, and you see the breadth of the applications that are available on VR. And there is, in reality, now there is something for everyone there. I said yesterday on my show that as JD joined, and I was just sort of saying, if you want a racing guy, JD is the best one. You want to watch him drive because the guy has a pure passion and love for driving games. Same with Salsa, he loves driving games, and that's why a couple of racing games made it onto our top 10. It was only down to him.
So I watched Salsa's racing stream. If you like stats and racing, that's your man. If you just like racing,
JD,
yeah.
I love racing just as much as they do, but I don't have a dedicated chair or booth.
Yeah.
So it's a situation where I have a really small table with my racing wheel attached to it, and I just simply pick it up and put it in the corner. So
Yeah, man.
I have to admit, a lot of days I'm just too lazy to grab it and pull it out and set it up, plug up all the cords, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just as passionate about sim racing as they are. I may not be as good as those guys are, but I love it just as much. Just too lazy to keep pulling out the racing wheel and putting it away.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one. I just struggle to use it. It's just every time I think about using it, it would mean not being able to support a particular game that a developer sent me and asked me to stream that I would like to get noticed to. And up to a week ago, it was happening every day. It was just crazy. I was struggling. Do you know what I mean? I really struggle to keep up at the moment sometimes, which is excellent in another way, obviously. So, but yeah, I would love just to play some racing games, just to chill out and play some racing games. So, anyway, sorry, Nat. Do apologise for interrupting you.
No, not at all. So yeah, did you want me to go through the list because I sent it to you as well, or?
Yes, please. If you can go through it because
you want me to go through it?
I
Okay.
can't find the list.
Fair enough. I've got it. I've still got it written down. So there was 5 games that all tied for number 10.
5. Okay.
Five games. There's actually quite a few ties. In 10th place, one of the games was Ghost Giant, which I'm really glad to see make the list. I like Ghost Giant. It made my top 10, and it's a wonderful, heartwarming game. So kudos to the community for picking that one.
Yeah.
Beat Saber made number 10. Obviously, we talked about that last week. It makes it because the PC and the Quest version did actually fully release in 2019. A game that didn't actually make it. That I can't remember who put it in there, but somebody put Super Hot in their list, and they put a little side note that if GT could include Star Trek Bridge Crew in his list, they could include Super Hot for the Quest in their list. I thought that was really funny. That made me laugh, so that was cool.
Cool.
This one, I think you'll like GT quite a bit, and Lincoln as well. Thrill of the Fight made it in there as well.
Yeah.
Again, a very popular game.
Fantastic game.
The Climb also made the list, so that's really good to see that one in there. And another, what was a PlayStation VR exclusive for a while, but I believe it's available on PC now, and that's Falcon Age, which again I thought was a very interesting and unique game, and again, deserves to be on top 10 lists. Definitely.
All great games. All of them are actually really good games, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. So superb. I haven't got a bad word about, or I've not got I can't disagree with that at all. So
definitely. 9, again, we got some ties. And again, I know you're going to like this one, GT. Synth Riders. Again, the community put that in our top 10s. Mm-hmm. And also Aspire 1 made it. And actually, I was a bit surprised about Aspire 1 making it because a lot of the people in our community are, you could tell from their top 10 lists, only have PlayStation VR. And obviously that did have a rocky launch, to say the least. But again, it's a good game. Again, there isn't really anything in the top 10 what I would say is a bad game. But so, as I say, they tied for number 9, tied for number 8, and I was a bit surprised this was as low down as it was. But yeah, again, it is what it is, and that's Star Wars Vader Immortal was tied in 8th place, and that tied with Sirento. So again, I know that's proved a very, very, very popular game.
It's crazy because if you went in at certain times of the year, these top 10s would be so different. Because like Vader Immortal blew everyone's mind. These games at some point have really shocked people. So yeah, crazy. Okay. Excellent.
Now this is most probably the second most surprising title to make the top 10, which is Immortal Legacy.
Is that in number 8?
No, that's number 7. That's all by its own.
What was number 8?
Number 8 was Vader Immortal and Sirento.
Yeah, okay. And number 7 was, sorry?
7 was Immortal Legacy.
Right, okay. I'm not surprised by that because I know. I mean, how do you feel about that game, Immortal Legacy?
I never played it.
Okay.
Neither did I.
So, man.
I played it when I played like a demo of it like 3 years ago when it was on the Chinese, when it was actually on the Chinese PlayStation Store.
It must have been
very
different.
There was like a demo of it. I just, it was a case of, I had so much to play at the time, I just never got around to it. So
I remember having an interest in the game at one point or another, but it's probably pretty much what Nat said. Either I had too much going on or something else must have came up right around the time that game came out.
I thought it was really good, but it was definitely like quirky in places, and I found I lost appeal for it. I was playing it, and then I just sort of didn't one day. And then I forgot about it, and I was a bit like, oh yeah, Immortal Legacy. So, but I know some other channels absolutely loved it. Do you know what I mean? Like really, really bigged it up and loved it, and that's infectious. And obviously they played it and they agree with it. So that's cool, man. That is really good. Let me just give who we got in the chat now. So VR Bug is saying that the guys from Pistol Whip visited Facebook HQ recently, and he believes possibly that Facebook will acquire Cloudhead Games next. That was funny. We was talking about that, weren't we? Like the developer thing of they're going to start snapping each other up and stuff. So that's really interesting. How you doing, VR Bug? You all good? Hello, Tasnik. Secrets of. How you doing, guys? Thank you for joining us. I know it's the holidays. Thank you ever so much. Really appreciate it. Hello, My God, Vader's here. How the hell? That's crazy. All right. It'd be like.
we wanted it to be number 1. We really wanted it to be number 1.
Alright, so where are we at? Number 6?
We got 6, which is the last tie that we have. So the first that made number 6 is Asgard's Wrath.
What?
Mate, you love Dead and Buried 2. That was like your #1 game. So like all bets are off with you, Lincoln.
You are probably gonna witness the first meltdown on the VR link. Asgard's Wrath #6. Oh boy.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's like when you think about it, like Superhot was Superhot in joint 10th at one of them.
No,
Wasn't it?
Superhot didn't make it. Superhot would have been like joint 11th.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. If Superhot's like a classic, so it's whatever's trending. And Asgard's
Wait
Wrath.
until you hear what tied with no Asgard's Wrath, man.
Okay,
You ready?
Are you ready, Lincoln?
Yeah.
And somebody's already mentioned it in the chat, I noticed.
Oh, okay.
Real VR Fishing also made #6. It tied as in top 10 games with Asgard's Wrath.
I can actually take some
You-
responsibility for this
I
because
wanna-
You
I
have
wanna
got
link
to
it
be
together.
kidding me.
this
You have got to be kidding me.
this is from my Discord essentially. And I'll tell you what, when Real VR Fishing come out, dude, like there is a lot of lovers for that game in my Discord, and they were comparing and they were competing for leaderboards, and dude,
I just got done playing Beat Saber, getting a good workout in, so I really don't have the energy to go into a rage right now, as much as I'd like to. Asgard's Wrath and Fishing Mission mentioned in the same breath. Are you kidding me?
VR Fishing, yeah, but that's a great game. Like it's a
It
really,
is, but
really
I don't
good
doubt
game.
that it. Look, listen.
Have you seen the graphics in Real
Listen,
VR
listen,
Fishing?
listen.
It looks real.
You know, hey, a Toyota Corolla is a good car, but it shouldn't be on the same. It shouldn't be on the same platform as, say, a Mercedes.
I don't know. Mate, listen, all I'm saying, it's a community one, isn't it? So they're going to go with what they play with each other as well, a lot. Like, Asgard's Wrath, stunning, and you play it for like 40 odd hours, but VR Fishing, you're competing against people. You're going to probably spend a lot more time in it. And honestly, dude, like, I jumped in there the other day, and it is visually stunning. Like, I'm not joking. Honestly, I put that on, and I'm like, wow, this is on a Quest.
I did play the demo. I will admit it's a good game. I did play the demo of
It's
it
a
on
really
the
good
Quest,
game.
and I just didn't want to part with the $30 for it though.
Right, okay.
Well, a lot of people did.
They did, and with the
People liked it.
I think the salt water update, man, is like you can catch sharks and all sorts. You know what I mean? Like they keep updating it and stuff. And I just need to get there. I'm only level 10. I need to get started. I think it's like level 13 or something, the XP. But yeah. So what are we on now? What are we on?
#5 is our next title,
Okay.
and the #5 title is what was our #1 title. So again, shows where the community's at, and that is Stormland.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is what award shows should be. It's making me laugh. Oh, mate, the Real VR Fishing devs, I'm pretty sure are subscribed to this channel, and in fact, they messaged me today. Funny enough, mate, they are tied with Asgard's Wrath. That is.
I am considering. Listen, Stormland's a good game, but for Asgard's Wrath to be #6, to be tied with VR Fishing, I'm considering taking a knee in protest for the rest of this countdown.
Mate,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This Stormland's a great game, and I don't have a problem with it being where it's at.
hello, yeah, man, excellent. Oh, hello, Davo1000. He's put Real VR Fishing forever. It's like, yeah, man. How you doing, Ham? How you doing, man? Vader, excellent. Thank you for being in the Discord. How you doing? Hello, Hono. You've done some great videos this week, dude. Thank you. You all good, guys? Like, we'll go through. I'm gonna go back through the chat in a minute. So what are we on now? #4.
#4,
Okay.
and that is No Man's Sky.
Fair.
No argument there. I think No Man's Sky is definitely a game that elevated VR. It was a highly anticipated game. I think just about everybody with a VR headset absolutely couldn't wait for No Man's Sky, so it definitely deserves to be where it's at. I wouldn't have been surprised if it would have been in the top 3.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, funny enough, I was expecting it to be quite high. I know that we've even got a channel for that game just in our Discord, just No Man's Sky news and stuff, because it really hit everyone. You know, everyone went crazy for it. So yeah, I was expecting it to be a little bit higher, to be honest, especially when you said it was PlayStation. Majority of people was PlayStation.
Hmm.
So okay, cool.
So we're up to number 3 now. And there wasn't too many points separating 3, 2, and 1, but number 3 is Trover Saves the Universe.
Yeah.
So I think people agreed with me. It's a fun game, makes you laugh. Not
So
many games do that.
funny enough, I showed Mrs. GT his top 10 or what people are voting for and Trover, and we quickly jumped into it flat. And we're laughing in minutes because just she hadn't seen it before, so or I don't think she'd seen it or listened to it properly. Just the comedy in it, the comedy style, and there's so much swearing, like it just constantly swears, and that's funny as it is anyway, isn't it? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, swearing by itself isn't funny, but how you place it and stuff, that's where it elevates. And if you like Rick and Morty and that sort of humor, which I grew up with, like the young ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I watched Eddie Murphy Delirious, and that made my sides hurt. I was laughing so much at that.
Oh, nice.
Still
I'm a big
funny
fan
to
of
this
Rick and
day.
Morty. So, what's that, mate?
I said Eddie Murphy Delirious is still funny to this day. As far as Trover Saves the Universe goes, I'm a little bit
Oh.
surprised by the popularity of this game. But I hear so much good about the game. Again, it's one of those games that I'll have to check it out when it comes on next time it's on sale.
So we're down to number 2 and number 1, yeah?
Yeah.
I think we should jump in the chat quickly. Just say hello to some people.
Cold Yogurt, what's up?
How's it going, guys? You all right? Thanks for joining, everyone. Mick has put what's number 1 Bravo team. Oh, I don't know. What's he saying about the top 10? I think Mick would have put into this top 10 as well.
I don't think he did.
I thought he would have. He's in the Discord quite a lot. I'd be very surprised if he didn't.
I'll have a look. Hold on.
Let's have a look. Hello, Keith. I'm Hot G. How you doing? Yeah, man. You enjoying the holidays? You having a good time? Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. Hello, Jimster.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't. All right, cool.
No.
Wish they'd do a pro patch for NMS on PSVR. I thought it was going to come quite early on, actually. I thought it was going to be about 4 weeks maybe, and they would have done it. But I was always like hoping it would happen, and I kept live streaming it, thinking every time there was a pro patch, it was going to be the one, and it never was. And then I think in the end, I just kept asking Lincoln. I was like, "Any better?" And he'd be like, "Nope."
Yeah, because I would definitely check every single one because this is a game that I want the pro patch. I want the visuals of this game to come within the ballpark of the PC version because I would be playing this game more on the PlayStation because I have more friends on the PlayStation. So if I'm going to play it there, I want the best visuals possible.
Yeah, man, I understand that. Oh, man, so let's get on number 2.
Number 2 is exclusive to PlayStation VR, and it is the same that was our number 2, Blood and Truth.
Superb. I think that is a fantastic number 2 for sure.
Absolutely no argument here whatsoever. I've said that before.
Yeah.
That Blood and Truth was number 2 on my top 10, and if it wasn't for Asgard's Wrath, it would have been number 1.
I couldn't actually stop playing that game when I live streamed it. Couldn't stop playing it. So yeah, superb. So yeah, that brings us to number 1. Is this a number 1 we should be expecting, or? Because yeah, okay.
I think so.
Because it sounds all the games I can think of number 1, like off the top of my head, have sort of been and gone. I'm thinking, so maybe I've missed one, obviously, but
no, you haven't. And like I say, it's only kind of squeezed in there in terms of the points at number 1.
Yeah.
But it's just recently had an update. Makes you feel like John Wick.
Oh.
And is Pistol Whip.
Mate. Yeah.
Deservedly a number 1 game.
I love Pistol Whipped. I love that game, and it's one of those games I think I like to share as well. I like to watch other people play it. Do you know what I mean? I know Lincoln, you're a fan of Pistol Whip.
Big fan of Pistol Whip. I think I have the best Pistol Whip video out there because I was the most charismatic and the most flashy looking guy that's ever done a Pistol Whip video. I look like something right out of Goodfellas. But it is a truly amazing game. The one thing that I have to say about pistol whip that it is a workout. It does work your legs a little bit because it requires you to move, duck, twist, bend, and that's one of those games where I feel like I have to be fully rested to get the full benefit out of the game.
Yeah. Now, is that top 10 written down? Could you put that in the comments, do you think, or not?
Yeah. I can write it down.
That'd be cool. Thanks for joining, guys. Yeah, it was a good top 10, actually. I'm really pleased with that. I'm really pleased with that. I was just wondering, so Lincoln was saying before he came on the show, he was doing his Beat Saber workout, and it's kind of like your go-to game, I'm assuming, for exercise or cardio. Why not? Do you vary the games? Do you swap games?
I guess it depends on what kind of workout I want, because I think Beat Saber and Pistol Whip gives you two different kinds of workouts. I think Beat Saber gives you a cardio where if you want to burn calories, Beat Saber is your game. I think if you want to, get a little bit of a leg workout, and maybe even your core a little bit from having a twist, bend, move, that kind of stuff, then I think Pistol Whip is your game. So I know there's other workout games out there, but those are the two that stand out the most with me.
All right, cool. Just to let you know, guys, once we've finished this show, the last show of 2019, what I'm going to do is, because I use OBS Studio, there is a way of doing like an event stream. Do you know what I'm saying? So it sits there all day. You click and get a reminder. I could do that. It's a little bit of work to make sure it works well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have basically a half-hour run-up to us going live. So we usually go live at 7 p.m. GMT on a Sunday, and that will still remain the same. What we'll do is we're going to go live at 18:30, and you'll just be presented with a waiting screen, and that way you'll know that we're going to be live at 7 o'clock. Because a lot of people are saying they're missing the notifications and stuff. Because even if you do click the bell and have them set to all, if you don't see it, you don't see it. So it's one of those. It's more of a chance that you'll see the stream live than you will a notification. So that's what we're going to be doing. Who else have we got? You've got Hold Your that says PSVR camera tracking is iffy. I think that's a pretty.
That's fair.
That's
It
fair.
depends on the game.
Yeah.
I do want to respond to Benji Barker, who says that thrill of the fight is the calorie burner, losing 3 pounds a week. And I think Creed is also an amazing game to burn calories and lose weight. My only thing with Creed is that I like fighting live opponents. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't include that as a workout.
Do you know? I mean, have you done any boxing training in your career? You probably haven't, yeah, in your life or whatever. Done a bit of boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I don't get about Creed is you don't get your 45 seconds rest. It literally just rolls straight into another. Man, I'm like, that's not fair.
But I think that's a good thing, because for one thing, the rounds are only 1 minute rounds, whereas in real boxing they're 3 minute rounds.
What's the thrill of the fight?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
the thing
that
about it is like, when you see that your opponent is getting tired and the bell, rings, in the event of a knockdown, a round could be as little as 10 seconds if someone gets knocked down, because the round is automatically over if somebody gets knocked down. And if someone's tired, I already got my mind made up. All right, I'm going to move in for the kill next round now that I see he's tired. He doesn't really get a chance to get rest.
The other thing is as well, I found with thrill of the fight, Twitch boxing didn't really work with it. Do you know what I'm saying? So like with Creed, you can sort of flinch box, wave your hands really quickly. You don't really do any boxing sort of thing, and it registers hits. Thrill of the fight, I seem to feel like I had to swing punches. And to be fair, actually, when I think about it, out of all the games I've played, Thrill of the Fight, I was drenched. Like, I'd done an hour and a half, I think it was, live stream, and I was soaking wet, dude.
So you can probably answer the question for me. I have been interested in Thrill of the Fight, but I have not picked it up because it seems to be a room scale game, which requires you to move around. Is that correct?
Yeah, you do have to move. So I would say more so forward and backwards than left and right. But it depends how realistic you want to be, because that gaming character that you're fighting doesn't necessarily react like a real opponent. He's not going to be scared of you. He's not going to be fatigued to the point he's backing away. You can't permanently charge forward around the ring. You know what I mean? You can't control a fight that way in virtuality. There's not that mental side of it. So what tends to happen is they will, if you left him alone for a couple of seconds, he would still come forward, regardless of what's happening. So to be fair, I mean, I can't remember. I mean, I've definitely got the 2 meter by 2 meter thing, but I don't think you necessarily need that, but obviously then it depends on your arm length, your swing span, your arm span or whatever you want to call it. So I think more of a straight line than a width is more important in that game.
Okay, so and I don't have a lot of room to work with, so that's the one thing that stopped me from picking that game up.
Yeah, yeah,
Damn, I'm just exhausted listening to you talk about this thing.
it's brilliant. It is absolutely fantastic. I just want to.
I ain't playing it. I'll kill myself.
Yeah, so that benchmark £3 a week, dude. I might have to jump on it as well because I'm not. I mean, I go to the gym. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a fan of cardio. Hello, Simon. How's it going? I love that profile pic. It's yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cardio either. That's why Beat Saber was sent from the heavens, because you can get your cardio in and have fun at the same time, because
Yeah.
treadmills are boring. You can watch TV and listen to music all you want, but after about 10 minutes of walking on a treadmill, you're going to be bored out of your mind and ready to leave. Not only that, you could spend about an hour working on a treadmill and only burn about 40 calories, which is virtually nothing. You can eat an ice cube and nearly get those calories back. So, so Beat Saber is definitely heaven sent in terms of burning calories.
And that's why it's so good the VR cover come out with those covers, dude. Those ones that you can just literally put in the washing machine. I'm really grateful for them because that in particular, I actually used my backup. Ham said he is and I'm going to read this because I'm a fan of Synth Riders. He's a covert, I think he said. I'm sure I've read that comment and I can't find it to Synth Riders. He put something in my Discord. The fact I picked Synth Riders over a particular game, he was like, is GT mad? And he said he had to check it out. I think that's what happened. I need to find out what he said. And it sounds like he's enjoying it, which is the main thing.
Mm-hmm. Also, we've got Dennis the Vlogger. He wants to know what's our opinions on Boneworks multiplayer. I didn't know it had a multiplayer.
Has it got multiplayer?
I haven't got that far.
Convert, sorry, not covert. Sorry. I worked nights last night. I haven't had much sleep. Yeah. No, I don't know. I know there's an arena mode. And like a because a lot of people have been asking about that, imagining like you can
to look it up.
Imagining that you can like help other people over walls and stuff, like climb stuff, and you can do all that stuff with that physics. I imagine that'd be awesome.
Because if it has multiplayer, I definitely want to check it out.
Who said that to you, Lincoln? Was it Dennis? Did you say?
Yeah, Dennis the Vlogger.
Oh, he said he's going to be coming next month.
What is all your opinions on Boneworks multiplayer?
Okay, then that's definitely something I'll be looking forward to trying.
So it's obviously a bit of news that we've missed. That's what it sounds like, and he knows about it. That's more, I think, along the lines of what we're talking about.
Okay, then I'm definitely looking forward to it. Boneworks, if I can talk about it a little bit. Boneworks has not wowed me, but it has kept me curious.
Oh yeah, I don't think we spoke about you getting it, have we? Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up. And what keeps me in tune to this game is the physics. Naturally, the physics is what takes center stage with this game. And some of the things you grab looks authentic when you grab it. Some of it just looks like stuff that's just glued to your hand, and it doesn't look like you're really grabbing it.
Right.
But just to see just how much physics they added to the game, that's what's keeping me tuned into this game. That's what's keeping me curious, because I want to see what's in the next room, what's sitting on those tables, what can I use, what can I grab, what can I throw, what can I break.
Yeah, man. And how far are you in the game?
I had got to the point where I got past all the tutorials, and I got to where that puzzle is, where you like kind of slide that ladder over to try to make your way up into this this room that's got like big yellow steps and that kind of stuff. I got there and I flunked that puzzle, and I was getting ready to try it again, but that's when my computer crashed on me. So it crashed on me right in the middle of playing Boneworks.
Oh, man.
Okay, so he was doing the puzzle where Salsa said that I came up with a different solution to actually complete that puzzle.
Yep.
It even encourages you to cheat to try to find a way to solve that puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely. What we got in the chat now? Okay, but it also features a new co-op campaign along with the normal campaign. We're going to have to find this news out, dude, because that's pretty big. That'd be big for me. I'd love to live stream that with someone.
Simon Thurman has a really tough question. He said, if you guys had to choose which would you get? Asgard's Wrath, Lone Echo, Boneworks, Stormland. So,
Oh, dude.
Stormland.
Oh.
I'm an Insomniac fan, so it's always going to be Stormland.
Oh, that is.
that is a really tough question. For me, it would come down between Asgard's Wrath and Lone Echo. So I think I can answer it for you like this. If Lone Echo had as many hours of gameplay as Asgard's Wrath, I would probably go with Lone Echo because I think Lone Echo is a little more immersive than Asgard's Wrath, and it definitely has better graphics. Not to mention a great story as well.
I'm going to go Boneworks still. I love Boneworks. I do. I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But I haven't played enough of Asgard's Wrath, I think. I think I really need to jump back into that game and really put some good time into it, which is something I'll have to do in the new year. But yeah, man, that is very hard to answer that particular one. VR Bug says, I found Boneworks immersive. Love the gameplay and the physics are insane. Story went weird. Yeah, I didn't really catch the story of Boneworks. You know, I thought you was like trapped in a program, and you know, and no one else is in there, and you need to get out somehow. You shouldn't be in there in the first place. That was pretty much all I understood of it. Didn't really understand it, to be honest.
Jimster's put in the comments that he's just picked up Skyrim VR in the PlayStation Store sales.
Oh man, you're gonna
that should keep him busy for a while, which I agree with.
An extremely long time, and it is great graphics, great gameplay, superb. One of the things I regret doing is I played Skyrim on, I think it was Xbox 360, and then I got it again on the PS4 as like a remastered edition, and then I got it in virtuality. So I'd love to be a person who's never played Skyrim before and see it in virtuality. I think it'd blow my mind. I think it would.
That's exactly the way I played it. I had never played the game before. Playing it in VR was the first time I ever played the game. And, you know, it had last generation graphics, but no less, I was still impressed with it. And but I already knew I wasn't going to finish it because I know how long those Elder Scrolls games are. So I knew I wasn't going to finish it because there was just way too many other experiences out there that I wanted to try.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic game. What about you?
I envy people that have never played Skyrim and that, you know, they're jumping into Skyrim for the first time because there's just so many wow moments.
Yeah.
And just the freedom that game gives you, because there's been you know, playing just normally but also playing first time in VR, and again, a bit like with Lincoln, I haven't really put the time in that I would have liked to in thing, but sort of like just looking over the horizon and sort of saying, okay, there's like a mountain over there, I'll just walk to the mountain.
Yeah.
And on the way to the mountain you'll find, you know, half a dozen caves, and you know, by the time you get to that mountain, like 6 hours have passed.
You know, Skyrim is also one of those games that I think we needed to push VR to the mainstream, because a lot of people that were apprehensive about VR, you may not be able to get them to try a game that was built from the ground up for VR, but you might be able to get them to try one of their favorite AAA games that now has VR support. So somebody who loves Skyrim but refuses to try VR might be willing to try Skyrim in VR as an introduction to VR.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think.
What?
Like, go on, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I actually I was streaming the E3 when Sony announced Skyrim, and I literally lost it. It's on my channel, you can find it, but I couldn't believe it. I mean, that was just mind blowing to me.
Nice, man, nice. I think Doom was one of mine. I was like, wow, like Doom in VR would be absolutely sick. And I'm glad they added the classic mode.
When the first wave of first-person shooters started coming out, when we started seeing trailers for Firewall, for Zero Caliber, those kind of things, that was the wow moment for me, because it was like, this is what I've been waiting for. You know, besides sim racers, first-person shooters is what I had been waiting for. So I was absolutely excited. The hard part about it is when I first started seeing these trailers, these games were still like 6 months or a year out.
Yeah. Yeah, so just want to say that today's a little bit of a whatever day. See, we can do some Q&A or whatever. I'm going to put a video on in the background now. Unfortunately, it's got my mug in the beginning because it was my video. But it's just of games that are coming in 2020. That was going to be part of the chat today because obviously we're going into 2020, and it's nice to just discuss what games we're all looking forward to. So hello Anne, how you doing? Thank you for joining us again. Nocturnal Wolf, what's he put there? Never tried Styria? I don't know what that is, dude. Honestly, I'm not sure if anyone else can read that. I'm not sure what that is.
Let's have a look.
Simon says he picked up Doom on PC for £5, having so much fun with it. Yeah, the VR mod is absolutely brilliant for PC. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, he meant Skyrim. He put a little bit further down.
Oh,
Skyrim.
sorry, dude. Sorry.
I do want to say one thing because we haven't done obviously what have we played this week. I've recently picked up Fallout 4 VR.
I saw.
Which required you have to if anyone's got an Oculus, either an Oculus Rift or wants to do Oculus Quest through the link, but you have to enable a beta. It puts the Oculus controllers in there. Now he was saying about the stuff being tacked on for Skyrim, and I think I tweeted out to you about Fallout 4, and I said it's a very flawed and buggy game, but it's still really, really cool.
Yeah.
But there's also the one bit, and I know you, somebody most probably put in the notes, oh, you can change the size of it. But the first time you got the Pip-Boy, and I turned the Pip-Boy around, and it's like somebody blew up a balloon on my hand because the Pip-Boy just went like that.
Yeah.
I think I spent a whole minute laughing.
Yeah,
because I thought it was so hilarious. But Fallout 4 is interesting. The one thing I will say, do not pick it up unless you're picking it up on sale like I did. I picked it up on sale for $11.99. The user interface is a nightmare. It's horrible. It definitely is tacked on. And like I say, there is a few bugs and stuff, but there is still that cool factor that you're walking around in Fallout.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you're right. I think they did try, as you said, if the Pip-Boy does that, when you look at it, you know they're trying to add VR implementation really well, but there's definitely a little bit of a jankiness to it when you're playing it, regardless of what settings you have it on. And I found Fallout okay if it's the only game I played for a couple of days, because I sort of learnt the menu, but if I go and play another game and go back to it, it won't make sense to me straight away. I'll be like, oh, how do I do this? How do I press that? And I find that with a lot of games. I'm still waiting for that time when VR controls get like a blueprint and they go, this is what it should be like. And everyone goes, hooray! And then, do you know what I mean? You know what you're pressing?
Yeah. Fallout 4 is a game that I'm curious about, but I know I'll never finish it. I'll probably
Have you played it flat?
No.
Oh, man, you're so lucky to play that game in VR.
See, no, I don't think I don't know if I had Fallout 4 or not, but during the 360 generation, let's just say that I had access to hundreds of games.
Right.
And it became so easy that I would get hold of a game, check it out for about 5 minutes, and then just throw it on the stack.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I do want to add that this week that I did refund 3 games. I bought 3 games through the winter sale, and let me see, there was Thief Simulator, which I think showed like it looked like it could have been a good game, but it ran terrible on my PC, and that could have been because my PC might have been already on its way out, and I didn't recognize it yet. But okay. I was having problems with the game running. There was also another game called Virtual Fighting Championship, which looked like it could have been like a Tekken in VR.
Did you say Virtual Fighting Championship?
Yes.
That sounds amazing.
It looks like a game that could have resembled like a Tekken in VR, but it didn't get me out of my seat. And then there was a Megaton Rainfall, which is supposed to be like the superhero game.
Yeah.
Where you're battling aliens. I thought the graphics were less than impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a lot of useless dialogue at the beginning of the game that just turned me off. You know, it's like, I'm going through like a vortex, and there's just a lot of useless talk. You are the chosen one, my son, and it just went on and on and on for minutes.
I think like
Well, that was developed by one guy.
Yeah, I
So
think
I do
I
remember
think
that.
you've come along to that one too late. For example, it's an old game, I believe. I
Yeah.
remember playing
But it
it.
was only $5, so I figure it couldn't hurt to take a look at it.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, man. Honestly, but I think a year ago you might have felt a bit different about it.
Possibly.
You
But
know,
normally I would have liked that game. Normally I would have just kept it and came back to it and gave it a second chance. But those 3 games that I just mentioned totaled up to $30. So I refunded all of them so I could use that money to get Boneworks.
okay. And now you're a little bit like you like Boneworks, but you're not massively sold by it.
I'm still curious about it, so that's not a bad thing either. No, it didn't make me jump out of my seat, but it still has me curious. It wasn't. It's not a game where after 5 minutes I'm like, "Oh, this is trash," and just quit.
Yeah,
My son even got the game because I gave him a $50 Steam card for Christmas. He picked up Boneworks and he likes it.
excellent stuff. Yeah, I mean, I love Boneworks, dude. Absolutely love it. So let's start. Unless if everyone's clear in the chat, Thief Simulator. Oh, Buck gifted me that for a Christmas present. So I'm a little bit.
Which game?
Thief Simulator. He gifted it to me, and I accepted it, and then I realised the developer sent me a code for it as well. So I was a bit like,
But I still think the game. So that's a game that I'm willing to give it another chance because it didn't seem like a bad game. It just didn't run good on my PC, and that could be possibly because my computer was already showing signs that it was on its way out.
Yeah, I know what you're
But
saying.
but the premise of the game where you can't just go break into a house, you have to study that house. You have to study the patterns of the people that live there and see when they leave, when they're at home, so you can determine when's the best time to break into the house. And then get in there and try to grab as much stuff as possible and get out. So it is an interesting game. So it's something that I could very well come back to.
All right, cool. So, what games are we looking forward to in next year? Because I've seen some in the chat are talking about a game that I'm very hyped for, and yeah, I think Nathy's got a video coming out about it. Mike's already got one out, and I spoke to him on Twitter, just talking about like the video and his experience. And I'll tell you what, it sounds like an excellent game, and it sounds like a game that we should be looking forward to as well as The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. What do you guys think about what you've seen of it so far? And I don't know if you saw his gameplay. I didn't watch all of his gameplay because I didn't want to see it all myself, but I saw enough for it to confirm what I was hoping. Because there's certain bits now, I think, when I play so many VR games, there's certain things now I look for. Weapons have to have weight. You know what I mean? The characters look like they're quite interesting people, and you do care about what happens to them. And the sound quality, you know what I mean? The sounds of the game and the atmosphere and the environment, it all looked pretty good. So, yeah.
My take on The
I like
Walking Dead is it does look like an interesting game. The only thing that's really kind of holding me back about the game is, hopefully they don't release it at a time where a game that I'm a little more interested in comes out, because it would put me in a position where I have to choose one, because I don't want to go spending a bunch of money on games that I'm not going to finish in 2020. And then the other thing is I'm concerned is this a game where you have to know like the entire backstory of The Walking Dead before you can jump into this game?
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I mean, that's completely valid. What was the game that you said on last week's show or the week before was the one you think might get in the way of it for you? Was it Iron Man coming out in February? Iron Man?
That's an interesting situation because, for starters, because we almost had a big log jam because we were going to have The Last of Us 2 flat screen game released February 21st. Then we were going to have Iron Man VR release February 28th. That could have created a situation because I think that would have put a stranglehold on the Iron Man game, because a lot of people would still be playing The Last of Us 2. So I think Sony was wise to push that game back to, I believe, April or May. Mm-hmm. But we still have a little bit of a situation because, again, Iron Man VR comes out February 28th, but Half-Life Alyx comes out March, but we don't have a concrete date. So what happens if Iron Man VR comes out February 28th, but then Half-Life Alyx comes out March 1st?
I think Half-Life Alyx is being earmarked for the end of March. Because if you look at their
but
if you look at their pre-order, you have to get your pre-order in by March March 30th. So I think they're going to launch March 31st, which actually is
Okay.
a Tuesday. I just don't think they've announced it. I've got to be honest. I think it's going to get delayed.
What, Half-Life?
It's what Valve do. Name me the last game that they brought out where they brought it out on day and date.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be delayed. Don't get me wrong. I really don't want it to be delayed. But Valve have always. I mean, the one I always remember was years ago when Gabe Newell came out on the PlayStation stage at E3, which was shocking because obviously he didn't have very, very, very nice things to say about PlayStation and Sony PS3, and said we're bringing Portal 2, and they gave a date for Portal 2, and then it got delayed for 6 months. So,
Right.
Yeah, that and then the game that you're showing right now, I think presents another interesting situation because isn't Medal of Honor VR supposed to be coming out in the first quarter of 2020?
Yeah, first part of it.
So
To be
what
honest,
if they throw it in there right around that window of Iron Man VR or Half-Life, assuming that does not get delayed, that could create a log jam as well.
just out of interest, I've just quickly gone onto Steam because I thought I'd seen a date for The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and they've got it listed as 23rd of January.
All right, cool.
So not too long for that one.
Yeah. See you later, Midlife. Thanks
sure.
for joining us, dude. Sorry, what's that, Lincoln?
No problem. I was going to say I don't know if I'll have my PC back by then.
Do you know what I'm wondering, right? There's so many heavy hitters coming. Like, when I made this list and I was going through them, I was thinking, if you priced them all, I don't know, between £20 each or $20, whatever, it's quite a lot of cash. And I don't know what that's going to do to the indie scene too much, because a lot of people take a risk on games or they check out sales. It makes me wonder how people are going to afford to do this, because I know they will. I know people will, because if you're passionate about games, you'll put the you put the hours in to get the games you want. Always have done, always will do. But yeah, I do wonder what it's going to do for the indie scene, because at the moment, virtual reality is now stepping from that it's okay, still testing, to actually these games are starting to look like AAA games. They're all starting to look
high budget games.
Yeah. They're all starting to look like you're not missing out. In fact, other people who aren't interested in virtuality are looking over and going, that actually looks really good, and I want to check it out. Do you know, like the game showing now is Phantom Covert Ops. Who the hell wouldn't be interested in that when you see that playing?
I think there's still going to be a place for indie games, but I have to admit,
no, I do think there will be. I just,
Yeah, but this is the direction that I wanted to see VR go. I wanted to have a situation where that no matter what the genre is, racing, first-person shooter, sports, whatever it may be, that there's some kind of AAA VR game there. And this is the direction that I wanted to see VR move in. So, but I think we're at the rate that we're moving right now for VR. I think what's going to happen to the indie games, I think they're still going to have a place with new adopters to VR, because those games are going to be super, super cheap.
Yeah, if they remain that price. The only time I've ever seen games that I would class as indie or in a trial phase, they tend to come to PlayStation very expensively. There's games that are severely overpriced, and you play them and you're like, dude, why are you doing that? It scares people off buying stuff. I think 2020, Keith's put 22 with a year of VR. I believe that, but I also think it is a next step. I think what we know now as VR gaming, I think it's going to go up a notch. Do you know what I'm saying? I think there's not going to be so much it's not going to feel like you're testing out anymore. You genuinely, like, things are going to work as they should, and controls are going to be good, and sound's going to be great, graphics are going to be great. Do you know what I'm saying? I just think if there's indie games coming out and they're priced accordingly, it'd be fine. It's when you get the odd ones that still come out, they're overpriced, they're not great, they get bad press, and it doesn't do VR any favors. And there was a few in the last 2 years. There's been a few games like that I've come across. So yeah, I don't know. I think 2020 will be a massive year for virtuality. I think it's going to be huge, but I still think when PSVR 5 comes out, and PSVR 2 more importantly comes out, I think that is going to be massive. I don't think we can underplay the significance of that and what it's
It's
going
going
to
to
do.
be huge for the industry because we're going to have
Yeah,
a situation where developers will be able to release games on both PC and the PS5 at the same time. Where I think right now we're facing a situation where I'm guessing the limited hardware of the current PlayStation puts these developers in a situation where they have to severely, rework a game, map in the controls, maybe water down the graphics or something a little bit. But I think the PS5 is going to look at what we're facing at right now. Like Zero Caliber, we got Zero Caliber right now on PC. It's been out probably for about a year. In PlayStation, people still have to wait like maybe another 3-4 months
yeah,
before they get a game that we've already been playing over a year. When the PS5 comes out and say a game like Zero Caliber comes out, I think it will release on both PC and PS5 at the same time.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I think what you're going to find is, and I don't think it can be understated, Half-Life Alyx changes the conversation, 100%. Literally, I think VR will have a watershed moment, not in terms of hardware, but in terms of software and development. Because as I say, Valve, and I think I said this a long time ago on the show, Valve is the only company that could put massive amounts of money in a VR game to an insane level and polish it and not actually worry about getting the money back because they're earning so much money from Steam. I think this is, we want to push the format of VR forward. So I understand your love of Boneworks. The one thing I would kind of say from my limited time with Boneworks, it's really cool, but there's a definite lack of polish on Boneworks. Like a bit where Lincoln was sort of saying, sometimes you grab something and then your hand is like this. It's not holding it properly. I don't think you're actually going to get that in Half-Life Alyx through all its ports. And if you look at it, they've taken very specific steps to make sure that they are appealing to the widest possible audience. So the one concern I have is that we've got some fantastic indie developers out there. There really is, that are making amazing games that
yeah.
amazing, blow us away
I've
every
got
time.
lo-fi going in the background at the moment, and like that game, I can't wait for. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Once again, just as you're saying, technically, I would say he's an indie developer.
Yes,
But it doesn't look like it though.
No, it doesn't look like it. No.
Looks like a high quality game.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Though I think games are going to have to be at that level to catch your eye. That's what I'm saying. Do you know what? That's what I was trying to get at. I know my words are a bit jumbled. I haven't had much sleep.
But
There was games before I would buy and check out on a whim of it. It's a VR game. I'm looking for something to play. When something like that is on offer,
I think VR is on the threshold of being in a situation where the hardcore people like us are playing the latest and greatest games, and new adopters are going to be playing games from a couple of years ago. Something similar to a situation where maybe when the PS5 comes out, maybe we'll have that day one, but people who never owned the video game console before might buy a PS3 from GameStop for $75, and seeing all those games there are super, super cheap. So I think a couple of years from now, we're going to see a situation where people who are adopting VR for the first time and still buying these indie games for $2-3 at Steam or something like that, they're basically going to be a generation behind us. So I think, I think those indie games are still going to be serving as introductory games to new adopters to VR.
Yeah, what I was getting at when I was talking was, like I say, I think everything goes around Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx is going to sell insanely well. It's going to get, as GT's pointed out, it's going to get people into VR that have not been into VR because it's Half-Life. It is an iconic, once in a lifetime type of game. That's what Half-Life was. That's what Half-Life 2 was. It's what Valve do, except when it comes to Artifact, obviously. My concern is because of the sales that are going to go through the roof for Half-Life Alyx, and it's going to set a new standard. And I also believe, to be honest, if we didn't have Half-Life Alyx, everyone would be talking about Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. No one's talking about that. but that's a game a similar level that's being done by Respawn. In conjunction with Oculus. My concern is once that money comes in, Activision and EA will jump in. They will buy indie developers, and they don't, and we know it. They don't care about quality. They will just turn around to the indie developer and say, "Here, we've got Call of Duty, we've got Star Wars Battlefront, we've got all these massive IPs. Get a VR game out," and they won't care about the quality of it.
Do you think
And
they can do
suddenly
that though with the
I
VR
think,
community the way it is?
I've talked about this before because I did say that being that I want VR to come to the mainstream, and I have said things like that I'd like to see a game like Madden fully playable in VR, a game like Call of Duty, Battlefield fully playable in VR. But these are also publishers that they are about monetization. To put it bluntly, when they get on board with VR, they're going to bring their microtransactions with them. So that's what I think is the biggest concern. I think they will give us at least one quality title because they're going to need that one quality title to get us on to draw people in, and then hit them with microtransactions left and right. So I think that's something that we could be staring in the face in the future in the next few years.
See, that's the concern I have with Activision, because where you say about they want quality title. The one thing I always remember, I was a huge fan of the PlayStation Vita. I thought it was a fantastic little handheld. And I always remember the big push that they were going to be bringing a Call of Duty game to the PlayStation Vita. And everyone was excited. It was like, oh my God, we can play Call of Duty on a handheld. And then when we got it, it was Black Ops Declassified, and it was garbage.
I really wanted to play it though. When I had my Vita, I always wanted to pick it up, but it was so expensive.
I picked it up, and I picked it up full price, and it was garbage. It was absolutely awful. And then a lot of the stuff came out that there wasn't enough development time and stuff. And the thing that I couldn't believe was you already had a game. You had Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Port that. If you ported that with trophies onto the PlayStation Vita, that would have been, that would have been a killer, because the multiplayer maps were absolutely awesome. It was one of the best single player FPS games of all time. I was just like, if you haven't got time, or you've only got limited time, do that. Surely that's going to be a lot easier to convert that than to build what was a piece of garbage from the ground up. So that's the concern I have, that the EA and Activision will just see the money. They'll just jump in. They'll get these. They'll hire somebody like Dreams or whoever, and we know how these companies work, and they will push it. I'm really hoping I'm wrong, and I really hope that some of these indie companies push out. The one of the bright shining lights I see now, and I know some people won't see it as a bright shining light, is that Facebook and Oculus are now buying studios because they care. So they bought Beat Games. They bought, the developer of the biggest VR game around. And I know some people will see that as a negative. I don't. I just see it as Facebook have now decided, rather than go second party, like they've lost Insomniac now. They want to make sure that they've got a range of high quality studios. Like I can see them buying Sanzaro Games next, because obviously they made Asgard's Wrath. So I think they're most probably already negotiating. And I think you said that you've heard rumours that they're negotiating with Cloudhead Games. So again, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, VR Bug said that. Sanzaru, it was Asgard's Wrath, weren't they? And
yes,
they also done Defector. Absolutely top-notch games. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think they were very high-quality games.
Well, I've actually just brought Defector. So
it's great fun.
I'd like to come back to that Activision situation for a second. I think, like, right now, the direction that you were talking about, Nat, Bethesda is already there. They've taken Skyrim and Doom, last generation games, and they've double dipped. They got paid once off of those games when they were flat screen games, and then they reintroduced them in VR, and we're paying full price for that game. I think the only reason why EA or Activision has not adopted that strategy is because of the limitations of the PS4. I think when we get to the PS5, I think they will take one of their current Call of Duty games, advanced, one of the Black Ops games or something like that. And I think they very well could add VR support to it, because that's going to give a game that's probably already dead a second life. And I think not only that, I think it might be a lot cheaper to take one of those games that's already been, one of those AAA games and give it VR support versus building an entire AAA game from the ground up for VR.
Yeah, but we've already seen that with Sony, because they did exactly the same thing with one of the best games on PlayStation VR, Wipeout Omega Collection.
Mm-hmm.
They gave that game to a 4-man development team. What 4 men managed to do
Yeah.
with that and put it into VR, and it is one of the best PlayStation VR. It's one of the best racing games. It's visually stunning.
It's a reason to get a PSVR.
But Sony has a knack for talent too. The current situation right now, if Activision were to take a game, one of the Call of Duty games right now, PCs may be powerful enough to handle a Call of Duty game in VR, but I think the current PlayStation format would not. So I don't think Activision is not going to do it until they can get it on both formats to maximize, to get maximum monetization out of it. So that's part of the reason why I think there's going to be a flood of games when the PS5 comes around. You're going to see current generation games that we're playing right now in flat screen that's not possible to be in VR come to VR.
It wouldn't. Well, to be honest, it wouldn't shock me to see Half-Life Alyx turn up on PlayStation 5.
I bet you can probably bet your bottom dollar. I think it's almost a guarantee when the PS5 comes out, Bethesda is probably going to add VR support to Fallout 76.
Oh, I don't know about 76.
No, does anyone want it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if they'd
probably
invest in
not,
that.
but I'm almost certain they're going to try it.
I know what you're saying, though. I get where you're going with this. I really do. See you later, Mick. Thank you for joining us, dude. Funny enough, I was watching F Reality, and Nathy was saying there's a lot of people now in virtual reality that weren't before, and there's a lot of great games in the past that have obviously now been snowed under. They're forgotten about and they're done. There could be some remasters coming. You know what I mean? That makes sense. There's some great games in the past because PC VR has been going quite a long time, and there's a lot of games I don't know about that people talk about, and I haven't played them personally. I just seem to come along the games that have made it above the pile. Do you know what I mean? There's probably some hidden gems out there just sitting there on Steam somewhere that I don't know anything about, and one of them they was talking about was, I'm not saying it's a hidden gem, I'm just saying it's a game that maybe not many people have heard about, is the Vertigo game. I haven't played the first one, but it almost sounds like it's got a bit of a VR cult following along the Half-Life line of people who are like, do you remember that game? That was amazing, blah, 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 blah. And Vertigo 2 is a free demo now, and I made a video on it about, 4 months ago, and it was great. It was really good, and there's definitely a Half-Life vibe going on there. And I know the guy who's made it, or one of the guys, he's worked at Valve, and I think he's worked on Half-Life Alyx as well, apparently. So, yeah, it's a good game. It was really good, and I really enjoyed my time with it. So that's another one.
They're rebooting the first one, aren't they? So
yeah, exactly, like a remaster. So
yeah.
I'm wondering whether that's going to be a bit of a trend. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's a good thing. Reggie Strange has done it as well, hasn't he? With Honor and Duty. Yeah, he's done like a remaster of that, and that looks great. Personally, I just haven't had time to check some of these games out, but it's definitely all happening. So, moving on to other games, I can see Watto's talking about Watto quadruple dipped with Skyrim. I technically 3 times I dipped on that one. I'm just going to quickly go back and have a look at some chat. We should definitely go through this through a little while and have a look at some stuff. What we got? Mad Year for VR. Indie games will never die. Oh no, dude, I'm not saying they're going to die. I'm just wondering how many eyes people are going to give them now. When what happens, unfortunately, is there's so many big games coming out, and like for example, the one that's playing now, Undead Citadel. Technically, he probably is an indie developer, but I've played that. The visual quality of that game is not indie. It doesn't come across that way at all. And that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering how that scene is going to be, as before it seemed a bit more welcoming, you know, and a bit more easier to just release something. As long as I was saying, the essential thing is the prices are, like Lincoln was saying, he picked up 3 games because they were cheap. He felt no risk really, and he managed to return them because he had the 2-hour return policy. On PlayStation, it's different. It's very different. You can get stung quite easy over there. But yeah, and you know, you bought them. So with the process of Steam, Lincoln, was that just like you PayPal, and it's how long does it take for that money to go back in, sort of thing?
It will tell you that it's got to be reviewed first. An agent has to review it, and then they'll get back with you and let you know whether you're going to be given a refund or not. And if you do get the refund, it can take up to 7 days before you get the money back. In my case, it took 1 day.
Superb. Yeah, that's cool. That's great.
Yeah, I mean
Derail.
that's one of the beauties of buying both on the Oculus Store and Steam. You know, it does
Well,
take a lot of concern
But
about the game.
Oculus used to be just as stingy as Sony when it comes to refunds. But I think now that Oculus has adopted a reasonable return policy, I think sooner or later that could force Sony's hand to take a look at their refund policy.
Hopefully, dude.
Has
I
to.
hope they do something different. Derail Gaming, how you doing? Decepticon, VTids, how you doing, dude? You alright? You all good? Who else have I said hello to? We got Drew, he's dropped in. How you doing, man? Yeah, everyone is saying pretty much the same, that 2020 is going to be massive for VR. And do you know what? I was thinking the other day, I'm trying to make some videos in the background at the moment while things are a little bit quiet. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, like middle of January, I've got to roll my sleeves up because I think it's going to be a wave of games. You know, like all the games we know about, there is still going to be those amazing indie games that are going to hit. And games just come out of nowhere sometimes, don't they? Like you a week before launch, you'll see a trailer and you're like, dude, that looks really good. And that's all it takes for something in virtual reality to catch your eye.
Well,
And
it's like that game that you and Lincoln and Salsa have all played, that Path of the Warrior game.
oh, that is
Yeah.
superb.
Literally was just announced out of nowhere.
And
Yeah.
I love that too because I can decide right then and there whether I want to buy it rather than like a game like Half-Life. That's a high budget game, so I get that. But an indie game, I definitely prefer stealth launch because I can decide right then and there if I want to buy it.
That's it, man. That's it.
And Star Trek Bridge Crew, oh my God, that was like a thing of Purdy.
Oh,
for
yeah,
that to come
dude.
out of nowhere. For that to come out of nowhere. Now, here's the thing. I got burned on that. So I've got the game on PlayStation VR with the DLC. I've got it on the Quest with the DLC because it comes with the DLC when you buy it. Now, I also bought it on Steam earlier this year, but without the DLC. So I finally broke down, bought the DLC for the Steam version of the game. I come back to the Oculus app and the Rift version is free. So I'm under the impression that it's cross-buy. So I spent $15 on DLC buying it off of Steam when it was already there for me on the Oculus Rift platform.
Yeah.
So, but oh well, I love the game that much. I just went ahead and let it go. They can keep it $15. I love the game that much that I'm not going to act up about it. But I do love surprise and stealth launches.
Yeah, no worries. Anyone in the chat, if you're new here, let us know if you did get a VR headset this Christmas of any kind. That'd be great. Because Gets Chopper's just coming in. He's reminded me that he is now an Oculus Quest owner, even though he won his, which is unbelievable.
Who won their one?
Get to the Chopper. Get to the Chopper
cool,
VR. Danish gaming, or Dane as we used to know him. He has seen, yeah, Salsa is not a weird old lady. That's not what AWOL is standing for today. He is out on the piss, basically. He's getting drunk with some friends, I believe, and
Birthday.
hopefully eating loads of chicken wings or something, because that's what I like to do when I get some beer. Captain Chrissy, how you doing, man? Danish is the man. Have I missed it? Oh, Grambo, how you doing? The Outer Worlds of Vorpex. Would you check that out, Nat? Because you love
You know
Outer
what?
Worlds.
Here, let me type my Oculus name into the chat if you don't mind.
Aww.
I mean, the problem is, and it's kind of the one that you brought up, GT, is, to be honest, there's so many games and there's so little money, if you will, and more importantly, so little time.
Yeah.
Like I've kind of gone since the PC side. For me, anyway, I've kind of gone mad. I mean, even this week, I've brought games. I brought Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice VR edition, which actually I tried to play this morning, and then suddenly realised you actually needed the gamepad to play it. So I was kind of
Oh
standing there with my
yeah.
touch controllers, going, "Oh yeah, I can't play this. Oops."
Yeah. Need
I've
an
brought.
Xbox. Well, you're going to get a Steam. Well, I don't think you can get Steam controllers now. I think they're quite
No,
hard
you
to get
can't.
hold of.
I'll just well,
Xbox One.
the funny thing, as I was saying yesterday on my show, I've got this wonderful PC that I spent a lot of money on. I ain't got Bluetooth in it, so I need to buy a Bluetooth adapter.
There's always something.
So I can actually pair up an Xbox. I'll pick up an Xbox controller for it, or I might pick
I
up.
think they're really
a
cheap. I
Logitech
think
one.
they're quite cheap on Amazon. The Xbox
So,
controllers.
but yeah, like I say, I played Gorn today. I've played an hour and a half of Lone Echo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
So
really?
how about it? We've been telling you about that for a while. So what do you think so far?
Wow. Visually, it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
I would still actually give the visual side a little bit of a tweak to Stormland. I think they've done a little bit more because it's more sort of like stuff that we see.
I would say it's more up to date as well. Like Lone Echo's quite an old game
Yeah,
now.
it's an old game, but I mean, you know, I can understand when Lone Echo came out.
Yeah.
It most probably blew minds in terms of its visuals.
Oh, dude.
Especially the girls. So yeah, like I said, I played actually just before I started the show here. Played about an hour and a half of Lone Echo, and that bit where you go out into space and you can just look around and see Saturn, and it's like, wow, that's
yeah, man.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, like I say, I've been picking up all these games, and as you say, you know, you look at the amount of games that are coming, and it's just like some of these games are going to have to be put to the wayside because I don't want to just be playing an hour of a game just to play an hour of a game. I actually want to be able to play and finish games. You were saying about Asgard's Wrath.
Yeah.
You know, your problem now is, okay, I've got 9 games backed up, but I want to get back to Asgard's Wrath. But when do I find the time to play Asgard's Wrath?
I knew that was going to happen once you got that PC. I knew it was going to happen. But hey,
I've got a load of games, so I'm going to try in the new year. I've kind of made a resolution to myself to stream at least 5 games a week.
Nice.
And hopefully I should be able to do that. But you know, like Half-Life Alyx, when that comes out, that's going to take over everything. Mm-hmm. I know it is.
Oh, it's going to be everywhere.
And the thing is, because it does look like March 31st is the date, and obviously we'll get a date, I want to play the original Half-Life and Half-Life 2 to prepare myself and want to get the story set. And then on top of that, you got Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2 to play.
Are you going to check out Half-Life in VR through SideQuest?
Most probably not.
Definitely do it. Honestly, it is fantastic. It is fantastic. I absolutely, honestly,
you're gonna have to tell me how to do it, man, because I've got no idea. I don't understand.
What, SideQuest or?
No, I understand SideQuest, but Half-Life isn't in SideQuest, is it?
Yeah.
You got to add it to it.
Oh yeah. You got to add the yeah. I have that. If anyone wants to know,
side loading Half-Life into the Quest. Yeah. Is this something you have to do through Oculus Link? Is what I'm trying to ask, or is this
no?
Straight,
so this is this is through SideQuest. Nothing to do with Oculus Link. This is purely on the Quest.
Okay.
Yeah, I did do a video on it. It should have had quite an easy tutorial, hopefully, because I managed to do it. And if I managed to do it, it shouldn't be too bad because I'm not amazingly technical.
Is Pavlov still available to side load into the Quest?
Yeah, as far as I know, that's been delayed, isn't it, a little bit? I think that's coming out.
Only until January.
I lost it. My son wants me to put it back in the Quest.
Dude, that's gonna rock. Have you guys checked out the new hand tracking demos?
No, not yet.
No, I have not. But I saw a part of your video this morning.
Yeah.
So I talked about it with my son. So at some point we're gonna, dive into SideQuest.
Yeah, I mean they're
take
a
a
little
look and
bit
see what's
glitchy
there.
in places, but there's still something quite magical about that presence. You know what I'm saying? That's what VR is all
Mhm.
about, isn't it? Its presence. And
But the pace that this is moving along, I expect it to be perfected probably 6 months to a year from now. I mean, like Oculus got that hand that they got that inside out tracking together. What like within a couple of weeks, 2 3 weeks, a month, or something like that.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I mean, because we know what the rocky start that they had with the inside out tracking, it wasn't tracking very good, and it didn't take them long to fix it. And now they've been rolling out updates and features left and right.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Absolutely.
Ubisoft, if Ubisoft bring that to Star Trek Bridge Crew for the Quest, I'll buy it in a heartbeat.
I
Well.
think it's worth it. Period.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm happy enough with the PlayStation VR version, and to be honest, I can play with you guys via that because obviously it's
Yeah.
cross. I assume it's
Sure.
crossplay on the
It
thing,
is.
so
It
it's
is
not a big
crossplay.
issue. So, but to be honest, you know, to actually have your fingers, you know, pressing buttons and moving dials and stuff, it's one of the things I'm really looking forward to because again, on the top 10 list last week, I had the Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets.
Yeah.
Thought it was a lovely game. Really nice story. You know, I've been a big fan of a game from a few years ago called The Lost Bear,
Yeah, it's
which
good.
was on PlayStation VR, which only is an hour, is like an hour game, but it's so good, so wonderful. Puts a big smile on the on your face after you've played it.
I
One
was
of the
scared playing that game.
and yeah, definitely, and I love all those sort of games. Those games have always kind of appealed to me. That's what I like. Ghost Giant, you know, I was really pleased to see that in the community's top 10 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but you know, there was something special about Star Trek Bridge Crew when you're sitting on the, you know, whichever one you're in, the engineer or captain. I never actually wanted to be the captain.
I love being a captain.
I didn't want to be that. I didn't want that responsibility. I remember
I've never been a captain before,
I
but I'm
love
going to
it,
do
dude.
it sooner or later.
I love it. I put in my hours with that game. Trust me, like every night. Before I think I started. I think I played it before I started streaming or something. I was playing that game every night. No. I was definitely streaming when that came out. I'm sure I was. I can't remember. But I played it all the time. My favourite thing was learning all the roles, learning like the little tips and stuff of other people, and then within like over a week, 2 weeks, and then basically I just like then right, I'm going to be captain. Study the what's that mission? The Kobayashi Maru. Get that down because there's a trophy on the PlayStation that if and it will be on others, I'm assuming, if you rescue over 120 people on that mission, you get a trophy. And it was the one thing I didn't have to platinum the game. So
On one mission or cumulative?
what do you mean? In the Kobayashi Maru mission, you have to rescue 120 people to get a trophy.
Because I think I tried the Kobayashi Maru, and the guy that I was with was actually a pretty good captain. At the time, the most they had rescued in one mission was 18 people, and he learned from that. So I guess the 23 that we rescued is nothing, huh?
No, it's pretty good, man. It's a tough mission. It's just learning the system and learning how the game wants you to play, and So once I sort of got that figured out, I used to love going into lobbies and people would be sitting there. Captain role would be empty. There'd be 3 people sitting there just waiting, and they'd be like, "Do you want to be a captain?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah!" And we go out, do a mission, do it really well, and they go, "Oh, thanks very much, mate." I'd be like, "Yeah, see you later, guys." And it was so popular when it come out. That's what I do. I just roll in and out of lobbies, just like doing this because everyone wanted to do the Kobayashi Maru to get the trophy. So that was really cool. That was like one of the best things I've ever done in VR. I loved it.
When the game first came out, I was noticing the total opposite. That everybody wanted to be the captain, and people were leaving because they couldn't be the captain.
Oh, really?
There's only one chair. You know, you got a room, 4 people in there, and 3 people wants to be the captain.
Oh,
Nobody
man.
wants to be the engineer. So that's why I never had a problem playing the game because I don't have a problem being an engineer.
I always like if anyone wanted to be the captain. And I'd be like, yeah, go for it, man. And I'd be sitting there, I'd be thinking all the time, that isn't a good decision. That isn't a good decision. And I'd have to sit there and be like, what about if we do this? And he'd be like, Yeah, do that then. And I'll be thinking, oh man,
Mhm.
this is so annoying.
I probably take the game too serious because
I do.
I don't like playing with drunk captains because they horse around. They hit the red alerts and set off those sirens for no reason. Everybody's jumping around thinking we're under attack, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess I take the game too serious because when we do start the mission, I'm like, okay, 5 minutes into this mission, I'm wondering, let me study this captain to find out if he's gonna get us killed or not.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking through. I think accidentally we've blocked some messages from D1360VR, and I can't get them back. I do apologise. I don't know how to.
They might
I,
have been held for review or something.
yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look at that afterwards. I do apologise. Hopefully they're coming through now. You'll have to let me know. What I was going to say. So anyway, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? R Grambo. Nice. Angel, how are you doing? You all right? Thanks for joining. I wanted to scroll up because someone said they've got some new headsets. Where are we? Simon says, yeah, PSVR since launch, but got the Oculus Rift S for Crimbo. Excellent stuff. Hello, Chris Richardson. How you doing? Ham says, I also just got the Quest played Synth Rider so far. Excellent stuff. Cool. Yeah, Decepticon Danish won a quest. Imagine winning a quest. Oh my god. I said to Mr. GT, if I get 10k subscribers, I'm giving away a quest without a doubt. I've got to. That'd be awesome. I'd love to win something like that. I never win anything.
It will happen.
Yeah,
What?
definitely.
What, to win one?
You will reach.
No,
10
you'll get
grand.
10,000.
You will
You'll
reach
get
10K.
10,000
I've been
subs.
keeping my eye on that.
What's he doing? Gorn is his exercise game. As a violent exercise game, I love it.
Gorn.
Gorn,
It
I
is.
yeah.
played Gorn. I tell you what, I was loving Gorn. I assume you guys have played it.
Yeah.
I was absolutely loving Gorn on level 1 and stuff and having so much fun. And when I went up to level 2 and you went to the two-handed weapons like the big hammer and the other thing,
They make it difficult, yeah. They
I
get
didn't
wobbly.
like it. I was just like, yeah, because the weapons, it didn't really bother me in level 1. But when you go to the two-handed weapons and they're like wobbling,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What? Oh, what's this?" And then it's like, "Okay, well, I guess I've kind of got to, spin it around my head." And it was all over the place. It was blocking and stuff, and I was just like, "Yeah, I don't like this anymore. I want to go back to level 1." So
I think Gorn is going to do really good on the PlayStation once it comes to PlayStation VR.
If Polish Paul's got anything to do with it, man, I think everyone's going to buy it. Like that, he is hyping that game so much, and it is a great game. Like, it is a good game. I don't think it's as amazing as
it's not ultra amazing. It's
good fun.
It's one trick pony that's fun to play.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any games like that on the PlayStation VR right now where you can, beat up enemies, a beat 'em up game. I don't think there's any beat 'em up games like that on PlayStation VR right now.
I'm trying to think if there is.
Well, you haven't got anything like that's as bloody as Gorn, because I mean,
Oh,
cutting limbs off and cutting heads off and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
So
where
what
it's
do you
really
got?
fun.
What other games do you got where you can use a club, a mace, a bat, or whatever?
I know a game. What was that terrible game that was like you had the mannequin thing and you just practiced using weapons on it. That's all you could do. Someone here will remember what it is.
I have no idea.
I reviewed it because it was so bad. It was so crap.
But I think currently the only beat 'em up game on PlayStation VR that really stands out to me would be Drunken Bar Fight.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it. Drunken Bar Fight, Skippy. Well done. That's exactly what he said. VR Bug Hellsplit Arena isn't on PSVR, is what he's saying. But yeah, that is a brilliant game as well. Hellsplit Arena. I love that game. That is absolutely awesome.
Well, next, like I say, we've been talking about like next year. I mean, a game that obviously, again, I'm sure you're excited for and I'm excited for, and we haven't even touched on it, is Lone Echo 2.
Yeah, Lone Echo 2. Without a doubt. Yeah. It's Rage Room, guys. Rage Room. God, that game is... I don't review games very often. I've probably done about 4 reviews. And I only usually review a game if it's bad. That's when maybe someone has missed a live stream and they want to hear my thoughts on it, I do a review because I'm like, please don't buy this game. That isn't always the case, but so far it has been. And Rage Room was awful.
Let's see, we got D1360. He said mention Blatant Sorcery, but that game's not on PlayStation VR. So that's where I'm going with that. Is you don't, in terms of beat 'em up games on PlayStation VR, you don't have a lot of choices. That's why I think Gorn is going to do very good. Not so much because of whether or not it's an amazing game. You just don't have a lot of them. Same thing with if somebody were to put another sim racer on PlayStation VR, and God forbid if it's a multiplayer VR multiplayer, it's going to do great because you really don't have much to choose from.
A sim racer, no. I think, you know, recently we've had Mini Motor Racing X on PlayStation VR and touring karts, and Dash Dash is also coming to PlayStation. So they're getting racers and they're getting multiplayer games. Someone has asked if we've played Dash Dash. Yes, I've played Dash Dash quite a few times, streamed it twice. I've got to check out the Oculus version as well. I've got that ready, lined up. But as a concept in a game, I think it is actually a very good kart racer. Great weapons, power-ups, you've got your drifting, the tracks are nice and wide, and in the most recent update, you've actually got like a loop-to-loop in it. I think that's great. I think stuff like that is fantastic. It's a fantasy racer, and it's really doing it. Touring karts is good. I do like it, but the tracks, the corners are quite severe. You know, as Dash Dash is always like, you've always got to ride around the corners, long drifts, building up that boost. I get a rush out of that. That excites me. Same as he did on Mario Kart. To the point sometimes I might even mess up a race because I'm trying to drift around a corner too much. You know what I mean? I should maybe just take the corner, but instead I'm like, drift, jump around, drift. And yeah, it's really cool. It's really good. Rage Room is still $30. No, no. Damn, why have I not got a big channel? I'm going to bury that game. It's so bad. So bad.
It can't be any worse than Warzone.
I don't know. I mean, Warzone kind of had a purpose.
Yes, to annoy me.
No, but I didn't. Rage Room just, if it did have a purpose of practicing with extreme weapons, it failed. It just failed at everything. It was so bad.
I'm not familiar with this game at all.
Well, you're lucky, to be honest. I think it's really good that you managed to just swerve out of the way of it. There's really no point.
I'll take you at your word.
Okay, who have we? What's that? D1360. What's he put? Is he gone? I don't know. He's put okay, but I'm not sure if I've missed anyone or missed someone.
Yeah, your missus was sent him a message to stop spamming. That's why he was put on timeout. And so I think he's just sort of said, okay, bye.
Oh, no worries, dude. Yeah.
So your missus protecting us.
Thank you very much, babe. I didn't realise that was going on. I do apologise. I also was loaded hidden comments. Keaton, and I'm loving it. What is your favourite? So when it comes to rhythm games, Dance Collider is one that someone actually come up with and asked me to play. I haven't played Dance Collider. Has anyone here played Dance Collider?
No, I haven't played any kind of dance game.
Okay, no, I haven't tried that yet, and she's saying to him, you should. That is absolutely correct, and I was going to say that if Gran Turismo Sport and the PlayStation VR got even a one-to-one race multiplayer, that'd be great. That would, like, for me, put me back in the game. That's all I want, is to race one other person, have a lobby, create the amount of laps, the amount of tracks, and I'll be good. That would really make me happy, and that would put me straight back into the game.
Absolutely, and I've said that before in the past, that the lack of sim racers on the PlayStation VR is one of the driving factors of me getting a PC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people have done that. I mean, JD turned around and said that he went PC because he's a racer, and unfortunately, Sony are not producing games that allow people to take. And like I say, it might be that the PS4 just isn't powerful enough to do it.
That is my belief, because I think Drive Club VR, I think it's not bad, but the blur is awful in that game. I have to be honest.
And it is blurry, but I think personally for me, I actually get over it in Drive Club. And I don't know. I think there's strangely a lot of detail going on. Like there's blossom and leaves, and there's actually a lot of detail in there. But yeah, you're right.
It is.
Initially,
See,
when you
but
get into it, it is like
clarity is critical for me, especially if you're competitive like I am and you're going on a track for the very first time. Clarity is paramount because you need to be able to see that corner before you get there. The
yeah,
blur is so bad in Drive Club that you don't see a corner until you get there, especially in night races.
yeah, and I don't think you can play it online anymore. Can you? Is it still live? I don't know. I think
I think till March it's live.
right.
I think
Okay,
it's
I seem
March
to
it
get
runs off.
that, and what was the other game that was they took it away by? Why can't I remember what?
Star Blood Arena, you might be thinking of that one.
I was thinking of White Moon Dreams, the developers, but I couldn't remember the name. Yeah, Starblood, which is an absolutely great game, which is a real shame that happened. So yeah, we've we basically covered so many games already talking about this. Just going to quickly have a look at my list to see what ones we might not have talked about. After the Fall, are you looking forward to that from Vertigo Games?
I am, for the simple reason I'm a fan of Arizona Sunshine, and it's their next co-op, and I think they're in 4-player co-op with this one.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to see more. I'm hoping there's going to be a beta or something like that. Although, obviously, again, it's a PC game, so I'm covered with the Oculus sale or Steam sale side of it. So if it doesn't live up to expectations, as long as I haven't played 2 hours of it, then I can always get a refund. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. It looks like it's interesting. Future, it's a future side of it in it. So civilization falling apart, sort of thing.
Yeah. And I'm thinking it's weird, and this is a conversation I had with Mike as well about depth of games. Me and him had a similar experience with After the Fall. That was the first time I used a Valve Index as well, and he had it all nicely set up because apparently you can move the lenses in and out to expand the field of view and stuff. And I literally played it after him, and visually I thought this is brilliant. Like this is a really good looking game. Actually, the video is on now, and it plays really well, but it did come across arcadey. And also, that's what happened with Survios's The Walking Dead Onslaught. Once it come across very arcadey. So I don't know. I think that. Do you think something like that comes down more to price point of a game? Like because with an arcade game, it can still be fun. It can still be great. You know what I mean in its own right. But I don't know whether in a way where games are coming out with mechanics, for example, reloading a gun. Yeah, in virtuality, it can be quite tough, like Pavlov, for example. The LMG in Pavlov isn't experienced to reload. You press a button, or you got to pull the top up. You know what I mean? Get your big clip, put it on there, pull the bullets over, put the clip down. You know, or in After the Fall, I think you just press the button. So I don't know, and I think that was one thing me and Mike walked away from. We were like, visually this game's great, but we both wished we could have emptied a clip, put a clip in. And I don't know. Sometimes I think there's a fine line because it can be quite frustrating in a game where you want to do a quick reload but you can't. I don't know. Do you think they should just have an option or?
I like reloading like in Pavlov because it adds strategy to the game. If you're in a shootout with somebody and they run out of bullets, it's going to take them a few seconds to reload. So that might be your chance to make a move on them to try to flank them.
Yeah.
And get closer to get a shot on them. But I did play a game. I can't remember I think it was the Infinity. I think it was Infinity War or something like that. It was a first-person shooter game that I tried.
Oh
it
yeah.
Similar. Yeah.
You saved me. You saved me playing that.
It was I think it was like at the time that I played, it was one of the best looking first-person shooters that I played in VR. But I didn't care for the gameplay, and then the loading, it was pretty much hit a button and it just reloads. I think that broke the immersion because I love those things about Pavlov and Contractors where you physically, like you drop the clip out and grab one off your belt and pop it back in there and then pull the slide back before you start shooting.
And yet, like Sniper Elite is on at the moment, and I've played that, I didn't mind just pressing the button to reload either. Because on the aim...
It depends on the game, though, doesn't it? Like you're
That's what I'm saying.
saying that After the Fall is more arcadey.
Yeah.
And if that's what they're going for, if that's what the developer's going for, a more arcade type experience, but that you can play it with friends, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I just want. Yeah.
Because if they were going for more realistic, like a Pavlov or something, then yeah, you'd want the chains. But to be honest, if you've got tons and tons of enemies coming at you, you most probably don't want to be sort of like trying to put a clip in a gun. You most probably do want to just be able to sort of like bang, hit a button, reload new clip, bang, 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 bang. But that's, again, it depends on what the developer is going for. So something like Solaris Offworld Combat, which is obviously coming out, that's from the Firewall guys. That's not going to have natural reload mechanics. That's definitely going to be arcade, because you look at it and it's like, that is an arcade shooter.
But I think that's the trade-off of using that aim controller. But I mean, again, games like Pavlov and Contractors, physically having to change clips and that kind of thing, it adds strategy to the game. It might put you in a position where if you're not in a good spot where you can take cover to reload, then you might have to think quick, and pull out your handgun to fight off enemies until you can get cover to reload. I think that kind of stuff, it adds immersion to the game, and it adds strategy to the game, and it adds realism to the game.
Yeah.
But that's because you want that sort of game. Not everybody wants that sort of game.
This is true.
Yeah, and it's strange. Again, I think Sniper Elite is like, it felt like a bit. I know it's a game, but it didn't feel like an arcade game. This is what I'm trying to say. It's quite confusing. It felt like it was a sim shooter, essentially, but it didn't bother me that I was only pressing a button to reload a gun. That's why I'm getting weird. It's weird that I didn't talk to Mike about his experience of After the Fall until after I played mine. And when I was playing it, I was thinking, why do I want to reload a gun? That's what I'm trying to say. That's the bit that my mind said to me. Like when I played Sniper Elite, I didn't think, I want to reload the gun. Maybe it's because holding the aim controller, I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. I played it and I was like, you just press a button to reload. That's a shame. I don't know why we felt that. And I don't know whether it's because it looks so good that you expected it. And it's hard to explain.
I just want to point out...
I even like the reload, the way you reload guns on Dead and Buried too, because you're using 6 shooters, and when you run out of bullets, you flip the gun over to the side, and that's going to make the chamber fall out and all the bullets drop out. Yeah. And then you flick it back up to pop the chamber back in, and then the gun's loaded. I even like that feature.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So VTids, that is something I am actually talking to someone about. Maybe we could do a special, try it out. I've got someone to talk to about that. Basically, he's talking about doing the VR link in virtual reality. So we've done it in Rec Room. Well, we haven't done the VR link in Rec Room, but I've done shows in Rec Room. I've never used Alt Space personally, but we could look at that. We can talk about doing maybe a special episode, couldn't we?
Yeah.
I've even talked about doing a Q&A in Alt Space. Asking questions, what it was like growing up, being related to a boxer. So that's still something that I'm possibly looking at. So yeah, I think that'd be a pretty cool idea. Us doing a VR link in some sort of virtual reality, whether it's Rec Room, Alt Space.
Yeah. Yeah. Get to the job. Has anyone talked about big screen yet? I love big screen. I think it's amazing. Benji said he's watching us in his Oculus Quest now. That is awesome. Thank you for watching us. That is cool. And yeah, massive thumbs up. Yeah, big screen is fantastic, and I think in the UK we're going to be able to buy tickets to watch films in 2020. So yeah, not too long, dude.
It's already available here.
It's great, isn't it? Big screen. I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, I haven't done it because a lot of people who host rooms, some of them will show better movies than what's available for purchase. Case in point, I think you have like an Indiana Jones movie that was available for purchase. But yet, in a hosted room, somebody was playing the Joker movie, and the quality of the movie was pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there is private ones as well, isn't there? There is some ones that you need to be careful of going into. I've seen.
JD Max is asking me, has Mayweather tried VR? That
they might not know that you're related.
Yeah,
Some people might not know.
I really don't know because I haven't talked to Floyd in about a year. I'd imagine with all the cars that he has, he's got a couple of
He's probably got
private
4
jets.
quests on at once. He's got that much money. He's probably got 4 of them on. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't doubt it, but I think it would be something that somebody might have to suggest to him. Because one time he told me he was thinking about buying a motorcycle, even though he doesnn't know how to ride it. He was just going to buy it and put it in his living room.
Something to sit
Like a
on.
decoration
Something to
piece.
sit on while you're talking to people. Like, I
Well,
haven't
I was
started
riding
this thing up.
motorcycles at the time. He's seen, and he thinks they're a lot of fun, but he also knows they're dangerous.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you know what?
Yeah, get to the chopper. I'm Floyd Mayweather's first cousin.
We just call them cousins over here, I believe, and then we have second cousins. Yeah, but yeah.
So no, that's no problem, JD Max. When I was caught up in the council war, I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to go back and forth with anybody. But the VR community is so positive. There's virtually no toxicity there. So I felt more comfortable revealing it once I made the jump over to VR.
Oh, isn't that awesome? Everyone hug each other. Where are we now? So we've had after the fall. We've had loads, haven't we? Now we've done loads of We've done we've accidentally covered Dash Dash. Panther VR was one you was looking forward to, I believe, Lincoln. Was it Panther?
Yeah, but I'm after the launch of Aspire 1, I'm a little bit concerned that the game could release buggy and broken.
Visually, it's very good.
It is.
Because I have played it and I did do a video on it, but I couldn't tell you how much gameplay there's going to be, or whether the mechanics they're going to expand on the mechanics, or who knows, dude? Who knows?
I do want to respond to JD Max. He says I should get him to try Creed. Now, my uncle Jeff Mayweather, he was a former fighter too. He fought Oscar De La Hoya before. I have sent them a couple of my Creed videos where I'm talking a lot of trash in there, so he did get a pretty good laugh out of
it. Solaris from First Contact Entertainment.
Hmm.
Now, considering how big Firewall is, and Solaris is going to be on all formats, I believe, PC VR, Oculus Quest, and PSVR,
along with dedicated servers.
It could be huge. Like, it could be huge, and not many people talk about it because basically there's nothing to really talk about.
We haven't seen it. No.
It's just a 4v4, I believe, shooter all over again. But set in like a virtual world. It's like a VR game, isn't it? It knows it's a VR game. You plugged into a VR world.
Well, it looks like they're trying to do a Quake type game because you start off with no weapons. It's all about the points. So just like Quake, the people that really get into Solaris will absolutely adore it, and they will learn the points. They'll know the points to grab, the best weapons, the best armor. Just like the people that absolutely adored Quake. It's like, okay, I'm on this map. As soon as you spawn, you know exactly. Okay, to 10 foot to my left is a machine gun.
Yeah.
10 foot to my right is a rocket launcher. So, and look, Firewall is a fantastic game. The biggest issue it's always had is the servers. And as Lincoln said, they're going with dedicated servers this time. So the only drawback to that is obviously if the game doesn't take off, those servers will be switched off, which is one of the benefits with Firewall. You don't need to worry about servers being switched off because it's peer-to-peer.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but it'd be nice to have an option.
Yes.
Because I do apologise. I haven't had much sleep. What was the game we talked about a minute ago that has been shut down on PlayStation?
Starblood Arena.
Starblood Arena. We could have kept that alive, dude. Do you know what I mean? It could have been still going, but like between us. What was the other game? So Pixel Ripped 1995. I think that's going to be fantastic. I mean, the first one is absolutely brilliant and unforgettable. So I am thinking that 1995 will definitely deliver.
Yes.
Absolutely. You big on Pixel Rip, Lincoln?
I haven't played the first one. It just wasn't on my radar.
Oh, okay.
It's just a love letter to old school gaming. This looks like exactly the same, except it's PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, that sort of era of
and
games.
based on that, I should be interested in it, but I'm all about advancement. Not I want VR to move forward in leaps and bounds, and we're on the cusp of getting the kind of games that I want to see on a regular basis in VR. We're on the cusp of getting AAA high budget games on a regular basis, and not just one game every 6 months. I think we're going to get quite a bit of it. So yeah, I was way ahead of Pixel Rips in terms of what I wanted. Like give us the AAA games.
Yeah.
Not that we didn't have them. I just wanted, I just wanted a situation where we got AAA games across the board. No matter what your genre is, there's a AAA game in that genre.
But Pixel Ripped is the indie game.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, and a bit like what GT was saying, indie games have their place. I mean, some of the best experiences I've had on PlayStation 3 and 4 have been indie games.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you get the AAAs like God of War and they blow you away and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But something like, one of the most affecting games where I think I was in tears throughout most of the game was Journey. That was one of the most affecting games I've ever played.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got to Moss that I got those sort of similar feelings. But then you've also got things like is it Supergiant Games who do Bastion and Transistor, and they're doing Hades now.
Right.
Again, they're indie games, but they have a unique voice. And this is what I love about VR more than anything, is we've got these amazing indie developers that have a voice of a game that they want to show, and are doing some unique and out of the box stuff. Like obviously the thing I think we all go back to is the side quest game. Is it T for God?
Yeah, T for God.
It's a simple thing, but it's just like it's so unique. It's so interesting.
It's a mind blow.
And you know that there's not going to be a AAA publisher that's going to do anything with that. And yet, this one guy who did the T for God, it's just like, well, can we do this? Yeah, we can do this. And it's just one of those amazing experiences.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I never want VR to ever lose. I don't think it will. I think VR is always going to be a fertile ground. I think it's actually going to be a more fertile ground for indie developers than just standard gaming will be, because there's going to be a developer out there, and I've said this ever since, to be honest, before I had PlayStation VR, there's going to be some crazy, insane indie developer or indie development team that are going to do something that just blows our mind, that no AAA publisher. I mean, the one I always kind of go back to, and I know it sounds like I'm blowing smoke up his backside, is Reggie Strange and Strange Game Studios, where everybody was turning around and saying, you cannot do multiplayer for this amount of people. You can't do this. You can't do that. And his response was, well, why can't I do it? And what did he do? He managed to get, 32 player multiplayer.
Yeah.
I can't think who. Oh God, he's going to kill me for not remembering his name. But he turned around to Reggie and said, "Reggie, can't we have multiple weapons?" And so Reggie did it, so you could make the Move controller a knife or a gun, along with your aim controller.
Yeah.
And you have it in the same game.
Yeah, I think he literally does everything. I think he literally does everything that people say, can you do that?
And I think indie developers, yes, they do have their place, and I still do like indie games. But some of the indie games, I think the indie developers are the most creative developers for VR. But I can't help but wonder, when they come out with an amazing games, with amazing gameplay, physics, immersion, I can't help but to wonder what they could have done with this game if they had AAA backing.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. But it's nice to think that they get that out there, they get a following, and then they get that back in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because even take Reggie, for instance. If he were to get picked up by a major publisher, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, maybe.
I think if Activision want to bring Call of Duty to VR, I think they've got a set guy that could run a small independent studio within Activision in Reggie.
Yeah, they
pay him a lot of money.
I could see them asking him, how many men do you need?
Yeah. What about the Wizards Dark Times? You guys played the Wizards?
I love the
No,
Wizards.
Excellent. You haven't played the first Wizards?
I haven't played any of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
Only one.
A lot of
Yeah.
games that I'm missing out on. They're just coming out too fast.
Yeah, dude. So I played the Dark Times at Gamescom. There is a video on the channel if anyone wants to see it, and it was not easily, but it was graphically the most stunning game there because the world was so vibrant and colourful and everything was moving, and it was one of those games where you like when you go into a game and you're just like, wow, that's what that was like playing that. And the game didn't disappoint either. It actually does feel like if you enjoyed the Wizards, I think the Dark Times is gonna smash it. I think it's literally like everything multiplied. Everything's better.
Well, it was the controls for me on the Wizards. I mean, they actually did work well with the move, but it was the spell casting because you actually felt like you was casting a spell.
Yeah.
And that was the really cool thing. Again, there's obviously the thing with the Oculus Quest where it's like, okay, please give me hand and finger tracking so I can cast spells, like Doctor Strange.
I was about to say that. Does it make you feel like Doctor Strange?
Kind of.
Yeah, I think the one I always think, what's the one where you sort of have your hands in, you split them up and you do that? That's like what is that one? That's the shield,
No.
isn't it? I think if you cross your hands like that, you make the arrows.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's some great, and the simple one, the fireball, is just you turn your palm around, don't you? I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then you can throw it. Yeah, it's good, man. You should check it out. Check it
Okay.
out. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll.
And this is the Wizards?
Yeah, and the Quest version is actually really good as well. So yeah, the Wizards is really good.
It'd be nice if it'd be cross-buy too.
It might be. I don't know. I don't know.
I have to look into it. That's one bad thing about Oculus is they don't tell you whether these games are cross-buy or not. You have to look into it before you buy it.
Some advertise it and some don't. I would say it's probably less than 50-50, which is a shame. Because that's the first thing everyone asks, isn't it? Is it cross-buy? Is it cross-buy? Because they've probably already got it. Iron Man VR, I know we spoke about it before. Lincoln, have you played Iron Man VR?
No, I have not.
Okay, I definitely know Nat has done it because I filmed him. So yeah.
Loved it, yeah.
That's
going to be fun.
That's a game that I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I'm buying it.
Good. Yeah, I think you'd be good to buy it as well. And I think me and Nat were talking about it a lot at EGX, and then when he played it, I think it was as described, sort of thing. It was as we discussed.
The way I described it is it pretty much is what you think it is going to be. I think there's a lot more depth in the game than a lot of people will consider. But I think it's definitely one of those games that is very easy to pick up, but it's going to be hard to master. But when you finally master it, you're just going to be absolutely powering. And
So let me ask you this, Nat. Based on what you played so far, do you see this game having the perfect balance between a gameplay and a campaign?
I think it has the possibility. I mean, they've spent a lot of time, and they've brought proper writers in. That know Iron Man. So I it's hard to say without knowing how long the campaign is. But I think the campaign, from the little snippets we got from the trailer, and obviously I only got 10 minutes with it. I think they've most probably got a compelling story to keep you playing. The only concern I might have with that is, will you want to replay it? That's always a hard thing. You won't know until you actually play the story. Like with Blood and Truth, the story is very, very strong on that. So it's like, I don't mind replaying that and going through that story again. But PlayStation VR doesn't have, and it's a concern we've all expressed. It doesn't have that many banner titles. Like when you look down the list, there are a lot of them coming to PlayStation VR, but Iron Man is definitely not only a banner title for PlayStation VR, I think it's a banner title for VR. Same as Sniper Elite. So
yeah, it's going to be awesome. And there was like some magical tracking thing going on with Iron Man VR. It defied what everyone moans about with the PSVR because you're playing it this way, you turn your back, around, and you might even see it in my video. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure you'll see me face away from the camera, and I'm still, because you've got to use your hands as the thrusters. Yeah, if you want to go backwards, you put them in front of you and blah blah blah. And I was shooting and punching and stuff, facing completely the wrong way, and it never lost tracking. And it didn't make any sense. It's only and someone else pointed that out, not to my video, though I think a stage demonstration of the game. How is he doing that? Because it doesn't make sense. Because we all know that obviously your head stays tracked on a PSVR because there's lights all the way around. But with the controllers, it wouldn't. You know, to the point where if you're playing a certain game and you've got the aim controller and it goes in front of your face, in front of the tracking lights on the headset, it will mess things up a little bit. That's why you've always got to try, hopefully, if you can, have your PlayStation camera either above or below at an angle, so it can always tell that there's a difference between the tracking light on whatever you're holding in front of you and the headset. So, yeah, Iron Man for me is a game I think everyone can look forward to. I think they will feel like Iron Man. I really do. And it done that. It delivered on that part of it. As for gameplay and stuff, if you want to hold off and save money, obviously you've got channels like ours that you can wait and see and get a report on. But apart from that, I think if you're looking forward to it, it's a safe bet. The other one was Sniper Elite VR. We spoke about that. Nat, did you play Sniper Elite? I can't remember.
No, I was on the way to London when obviously I tripped over and split my chin open.
He did. He had a fight at the pavement and lost. That is on the channel as well. If anyone wants to see that, I've done like a live stream talking about Sniper Elite. We've done Solaris, Phantom Covert Ops. Looking forward to that from In Dreams.
Yes, I am.
The kayak game.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more apprehensive after Aspire 1, but yeah, I'm still looking forward to it.
Okay. What about you, Lincoln?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Have you seen gameplay of it? Have you watched gameplay?
Yes, I have. But my question is, the gameplay that we've seen so far, is that from the Quest or?
So I've actually played the Quest version, and I live streamed it, and I done the whole section of the video that you'd see, and I done it offensively, and I done it covertly as well. Covertly, yeah, I got it in the right thing. And I thought it was amazing. Like, I really did. I absolutely loved it. The Quest, the first trailer they put out was Quest version only gameplay. And that remained like that for about 4 months, I think, maybe even longer. And then at the Game Awards, I think it was, they released the first Oculus Rift footage. And dude, like when I saw that, see you later, Watto, man. Thank you for joining us. Cheers. Thank you to everyone in the chat as well for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Did I actually think, wow, that looks really good? You know, get to the chopper. Yeah, I probably didn't do
Yeah, I
very
see you.
I probably didn't do very well.
This is another game that I hope is crossed by. I know that's being a little bit probably begging. Maybe that's begging a little bit much.
Right.
But I do think that Oculus can corner the VR market with cross-buy.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a great game, and I can't wait for it. They've obviously delayed that a little bit as well, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And plus, it was swamped. We were swamped with games. It would have been crazy.
Swallowed up, yeah.
Yeah, it'd have been crazy to have another heavy hitter
Yeah.
come out. It would have been really hard. So yeah, hopefully they're going to give themselves some time and come out at a good point. We've done that. Medal of Honor, I think we basically covered it. We spoke about a game
That's
called.
going to be fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Panther Vertigo 2. Yeah, I think pretty much we spoke about. Unless you guys have got some games that I don't know about that you're looking forward to, that'd be awesome.
Well, not exactly a game, but I'm intrigued and interested, and somebody's just put it in the chat about Facebook Horizon.
Yeah, definitely deserves to be spoken about because they have said you will need to have a Facebook account to use it as well, which upsets some people, doesn't necessarily bother me. But yeah, well, I don't know. Do you think they're going for the Ready Player One thing? Do you think that's what they're trying to do? Do you think, because for me, I always thought PlayStation Home would come to PSVR. I thought that's when it disappeared and PSVR come out. I thought, dude, they're going to make that into a virtual reality Get to the Chopper's so hyped for the Quest, he just wants to keep talking about Oculus Quest because he's absolutely loving it, which is great. He done his first video, I think it was the other day, and yeah, it's good to see, man. I'm glad that, like Lincoln was saying, I think it was, and the guys earlier were saying, it's really good that multiple platform VR channels exist. It's great to have a Quest channel, and it's great to have a PlayStation channel, but it's nice that you can get one and people are happy whether they own that headset or not, just to be talking about virtuality in general. I think that's awesome. Thank you, VT. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the donation. Another great stream, guys. Did you properly mention Lone Echo? I missed the first 40 minutes. We did talk about Lone Echo. Where was it in our top 10? The original? Was it in our top 10?
No, it wasn't in top 10 because it didn't come out this year.
Oh, damn, it wasn't in the top 10.
Or is he asking us about Lone Echo 2?
Most probably Lone Echo 2.
Yeah, we talked about. Oh, we did actually say that underneath. Sorry, man. Yeah, we did talk about it. We are very hyped for it, and the reason we got a good conversation out of it actually was because Nat first experienced a Lone Echo this week. You were saying, weren't you?
Literally before the show.
There
I
you
played
go.
an hour and a half before the show.
Have you got a video up of it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Should be on YouTube.
And I'm surprised they have not been picked up yet.
What?
Ready at
Ready at Dawn?
Yeah, this is the same developer that did the Order 1886 over on the PlayStation, which at the time that came out, I think that game looked truly amazing to start the generation
terrible.
off. What's that?
I said it played terrible. It was a horrible game to play. It looked amazing.
It's a cult favorite amongst people. It's one of those games that, it's got a dedicated fan base.
Oh, man, I was so hyped for that game. I really was.
What game are we talking about? I must have missed it.
The Order 1886.
Oh, yeah, I love that game.
These are the same developers of Lone Echo.
No, it's in your startup screen of your channel, isn't it?
No.
I thought it was part one of the animations where the guy punches the other one.
No, I don't think it is.
Oh, I don't know what game that is then. I thought that was that. I thought it was the Order. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I actually completed that.
I've got the platinum. I mean, you could get the platinum on the first playthrough if you knew what you were doing.
Gorgeous game.
But yeah, the graphics were amazing. It was the thing. It was just, unfortunately for me, it was one of those ones where they spent so much time on the graphics, they kind of forgot about the story. And it was only, 5 hours long.
That was my only gripe about Lone Echo, is that I wish it was a little bit longer.
Nice. Yeah, Lone Echo. I haven't got any information on Lone Echo 2, unfortunately. I don't know.
It was supposed to. I think it was originally slated to come out in 2019.
It was.
Oh, okay. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I could reach out to the developers. I could see. I haven't tried before, so it's one of those things. You know what I mean? I thought they were massive, so I thought, they're gonna look and go, nah. But you never know. I'll see what I can do. Where are we now? Gardini, I'm so happy that my old laptop, or shall I say my last laptop, has the juice to run Saints and Sinners. Sweet. Let's hope so, dude. That'd be cool.
Get to the Chopper says, I need people with talent on Dreams. I think that's what Sony is doing with Dreams. I think they are using that as a tool to recruit talent.
Yeah?
Well,
because with Dreams, you can create your own games. It's just open. It gives you all the tools you need to create your own games. The VR support isn't there yet. I think it's supposed to come in February. So I'm definitely curious to see what kind of creations we'll see, from gamers creating their own VR games. And again, I think Sony is going to use this game as a mechanism to scout talent.
Yeah, man. Like, one of the developers, he's on Twitter a lot. He almost thought I was following him. I first met him like a year and a half ago, and I wanted to interview him about Dreams. And I didn't necessarily say it was about the virtuality side of Dreams. I was just like, even though I had Gamertag VR written on me, I was like, dude, can we talk about Dreams? We're doing an interview. He went, yeah, no worries. He said, we're just going to go and do this, we're going to do that, and I'll meet you back here at so-and-so time. He gave me his number, and I texted him and just mentioned something about virtuality, and he was like, whoa, no, can't do it. Not allowed to talk about that at all. And I was like, really? Like, not even like, for me, in my head, I thought to myself, Dreams is going to be one of those games where you make something outside of virtuality and then go into it, and that's how you can play the game you've made or whatever else. But Yeah, anyway, so then I go to another EGX and he's there. We're like, hello, mate. He's like, hello. Still can't talk about it? No. Then I see him at Gamescom. He's like, hello. Can you still talk about it? No, can't talk about it. And like when I saw him, I don't know where it was last time. He like turned around. He was literally just opening the door, and I was there. And he was like, really? Like, serious? And I was like, man, I know. I'm not going to talk about it. It's fine. I'm not going to ask. So yeah, it's I don't know what's going on with that. All I know is people will go absolutely crazy when that happens. And someone else said, I don't know if it was on the show, they said that maybe they're waiting for PSVR 5.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
I've just got this nagging feeling because they're not really mentioning VR. I just think because obviously we know the majority of PS4 games, depending on where you hear, it's either all of them or some of them are going to be playable on PS5. I just think they need the extra horsepower that PS5 is going to offer.
Nice.
So I think that might be one of the first games that gets an upgrade. I think you kind of look at what Microsoft did with the Xbox One X, with a lot of the 360 games like Red Dead Redemption. You know, they boosted that up. There wasn't any need to do it, but they did it. You know, it's like, okay, well, you can play Red Dead Redemption now in 4K if you want. And I just think that's going to happen in for a lot of the VR stuff in when we go to PS5.
Drew,
You know, that would be one of the ways they get the PS VR users to definitely jump into PlayStation VR. I think that would be one of the things they announce. It would be like, okay, we can't talk about PlayStation VR 2, but by the way, Gran Turismo Sports and this game and this game and this game. If you get it on PS5, your PS4 disc will work, but there's going to be a patch for it, and you're going to be able to do, like multiplayer on Gran Turismo Sport. You're going to be able to do VR on things like that. So I think that'd be like I've already said, day one I'm buying a PS5.
same.
If I have to run over an old granny, I don't care. I'll do that to get.
I've already started saving my money. I've been putting away about $20 a week for my PS5. I think I've already got about 300 tucked away for it.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about that before. I think it's going to be over here in the UK. It's going to be a minimum of $499. I think for PS5. I just want to do it quick. Where was Drew? It says he loved the Order 1886. He got it for a tenner. He loved it so much he even grew sideburns.
The big pork chops.
Yeah, like the main character, by the sounds of it. Funny enough, right? Someone mentioned The Last of Us. I loved The Last of Us. There wasn't many games at that time. It was before virtuality that I have said before that I was sort of falling out of love with gaming. There was only certain games I played. As before, I played loads of different games, and like I do now in VR. And The Last of Us was the game that I finished it and I started it straight away again on the harder mode. Straight away, loved it. I thought, wow, this is great. Straight back in, and I was thinking, I'm gonna grow like a beard. Then I'm gonna get my hair all long and. Yeah, I mean, and I'm going to start wearing checkered shirts and punching people with bricks, and that's how much that game affected me. You know what I mean? And I wanted to get boots instead of trainers. Yeah, it does happen like that. It sounds sad, but a game can really affect you that way. And The Last of Us did that for me. I absolutely loved that game. That was so cool. Decepticon says, can't wait for that to go VR. Itching to make music videos. Yeah, you could, couldn't you? That'd be awesome. Yeah, sweet. Where are we now?
Some of these VR mods that we're starting to see people do with these AAA games, the Halo Reach, Grand Theft Auto, that kind of stuff. There's no doubt in my mind that some of these exclusives, some of these Sony exclusives, if they would have been available on PC, somebody would have did a VR mod on them by now.
Yeah.
And I think The Last of Us is definitely one of those games where somebody would have done a VR mod on it if it would have been available on PC.
Secrets of has put, it needs PS5 for power. You're talking about games and stuff. As you can't have both quality and quantity and have enough decent gameplay without compromises. That's what we want, don't we? We want PS5 and PSVR 2 to deliver. To be fair, what PC has got now, a lot of the times, the compromises have gone in some ways. And that's why I think a lot of developers put stuff on PC VR. It's growing in popularity, and with Oculus Quest now getting the link as well, you know what I mean? Oculus have done it, haven't they? They're bringing more people in to the PCVR side of gaming.
I think Oculus is poised to dominate 2020, I believe, and even maybe possibly 2021. I think now is the time for Sony to go ahead and look at another permanent price cut on the PlayStation VR. I think it's time for them to go ahead and knock it down another $50 to make it more appealing. Because we're at the stage right now where enough people that are VR centric have some sort of VR headset right now, and the only people left to appeal to are the casuals. But with the casuals, price is everything. You say something to VR, say something to them about VR. The first thing that's going to come out of their mouth is how much does it cost?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I was watching. My son loves watching Donkey, and that's one of the things he's basically saying. He's talking about Half-Life VR. He's all happy for it and excited about it, but he's like, dude, you got to put this thing on your face, and it's £1,000. He also says how amazing it is, like virtual reality. He loves it, but that is the turn off. That is the thing of you need a PC. Bosh, there's £1,000. Say someone. It's funny enough. A question I got from my son, who's into memes, into the internet, and all the rest of it, said to me, he thought you could only play Half-Life Alyx with the Valve Index. Because my missus was talking about it, and she, ever since someone brought it up in the chat about getting me a Valve Index, someone said in the chat, "Oh, we need to get GT a Valve Index." She said to me, "Oh, how much is it?" And someone in the chat said to her, £900, which it would be for me because I haven't got the lighthouses. I need everything, and she couldn't believe it. She was like, "Oh my god, that is a crazy amount of money." So, if you don't know that you can play on other headsets, you're talking 2K minimum, I guess, because really on that, I mean, how much would a PC to run Half-Life Alyx on those specs be? It's got to be at least £1,200.
Well, they've only released the minimum specs, so we don't know what the recommended specs are.
Well, my son's PC meets the minimum specs except for the RAM. You need 12 gigs of RAM.
RAM's cheap though, so that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I just bought.
Whoa!
I just bought 16 gigs of RAM for him. It was $75.
I guess it depends what you get, doesn't it? Because you got different.
Yeah, it was the Corsair. So. It was a Corsair, and I did get it on sale for $55. So it was $20 off. But where I was going with this is that his computer normally retails for about $850, and I got it on sale for $700. So yeah, I would probably say about $900. You would probably need to spend about $900 on the computer with good enough specs to meet the minimum specs.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, like when, say Stormlands for example, I find a lot of games now that are optimized better and are trying to perform higher. If you go for like ultra high settings to like medium settings, there is a difference obviously, but it's not massive. It's not massive. You can still get by and think this looks really good. But when you drop to that low setting, when you go medium to low, I do find there is a big drop. I do find most games, for some reason, for me, like the first thing, if I ever struggle to run anything, which isn't very often, I would go anti-aliasing. I'd zip that off. Don't really care about that too much. Because you can go crazy high, and I don't think you're getting. My eyes are like, I'm not really getting much out of this for what it's doing. So yeah, like anti-aliasing is one of the first things I knock down. So, but yeah, I think when you go to that low and you lose, it's textures. When you lose textures in a game, that can make a massive difference. So, I mean, are you prepared to play Half-Life Alyx on low settings? Because I take it that's what we're talking about. Minimum requirements of settings is going to be low. I'm assuming. Yeah.
I think I'll be able to play it on normal, maybe even high settings. Because I think I have a good enough graphics card. It's just the processor that might be the issue.
Right.
But my son, in his case, his computer's weaker than mine, but he's okay with, having to play it at low settings or normal settings because he is at the point now where performance means more to him than graphics. Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense. I think in virtuality performance is massively important. Yeah. I mean, dropping frames and stuff. Is it like a normal game? Is it? It can break the immersion. It can even make you feel ill. So, you need that mega smooth frame rate. And funny enough, I was chatting to someone about streaming virtuality what do you guys stream at? Do you stream, if you do stream or record, do you record or stream at 60 frames a second or 30?
I record at 30 because my internet's not fast enough to stream at 60.
Okay.
It streams at 30. It's at 30 frames per second at 720p.
Okay. Yeah, I do 720p at 60. What about you, Nat?
I ain't got a clue.
I was waiting for him to say that.
I just stream.
He just
I hope
presses
it
a button.
Well,
I hope it
OBS will
works.
tell you. OBS will tell you because it'll kind of like optimize it for your internet speed.
Yeah, and I agree with VR bug in the headset you do, but when it comes to streaming, I tend to think that I thought 60 FPS was essential, but the more oh, see you later, Chopper. Take care, man. Take care, dude.
Take care, Chopper.
I'm starting to wonder, like, is it that essential? I don't know on the stream. I'm not sure. I mean, I'll always keep to 60 because I can do it, but it makes me wonder. You know, like I've watched some streams that are 30 frames and it still looked fine. Still looked pretty good. So I mean, I don't know on this stream. I don't know if you've got the option to watch it in 720p and 720p with 60. Let's have a look.
I think in my case, yeah, I guess it's more about showing them a good game.
Yeah, and that's why I thought the no, you can only do it in 720p 60. So yeah, I was just saying I was wondering what you guys did as streamers and whether you did that or not.
I just hope it works when I do stuff.
Once I get my PC back, I'm going to go ahead and connect these two PCs because I use this PC for my podcast and then I got my gaming PC. But I was doing both on my gaming on my gaming PC, streaming and gaming at the same time. So I'm going to connect these two PCs so I can game on one and use this one to stream, so it'll take some of the pressure off of the gaming PC.
Yeah, man, I had a lot of people have great success with that as well. You know what I mean?
The one thing I will like to say about Half-Life Alyx, and obviously we're talking about settings, is that game is going to have legs. So, obviously all us are going to be streaming and there's going to be other people streaming. There's going to be people that have never done VR before and playing Half-Life Alyx and they're going to be streaming. So for people, they shouldn't be too concerned about being a day one player because the game isn't going anywhere. It'll be there. Like we've seen so many people on our stream sort of say, "Oh yeah, I'm getting a PC because I want to play Half-Life Alyx." Plus, it's also the other games, but that game will have legs. So I do honestly believe it's just going to be continuing to sell. I mean, it's already there. It's actually in Steam VR's gold list of the best-selling games in VR. So their top-selling games are in what they call the platinum list.
Yeah.
Boneworks is in there, by the way. That made it, which considering how late that came into the marketplace, is very, very impressive. But Half-Life Alyx is in the next tier, and that game ain't even out yet. And it doesn't include the Valve Index people. They're getting it free because their tier system is based on revenue, how much money you've actually made.
Okay.
So obviously, the Valve Index is zero revenue because they're getting it for free. So this is actually people that have gone out and actually paid £42 or whatever the price is in America. Most probably about $50, I would have thought. And have already put their money down in preparation for it.
It's crazy.
When this game releases, I think it's going to be the most viewed game on YouTube.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think every single channel, VR and non-VR, will be covering it.
Yeah,
I think they will. I think every single channel, and that is what's going to happen. That's how it's going to blow up so much. All those channels that you might have watched before. I used to watch quite a few channels before I got into virtual reality, and obviously everything I watch now or pay attention of is virtual reality. So, but you're going to see that. You're going to see that everywhere. Millions, do you know what I mean? Guarantee PewDiePie is going to play it. Do you know what I mean? Just saying a name. They're all going to play it. They're all going to play it. Everyone's going to play it, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic for
because
virtual reality.
It's going to be the thing to play.
Well, it's going to be the game. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be the
forget
game.
about VR. It's going to be the game.
I
Yeah,
think
non-VR.
like you use PewDiePie as an example.
he does virtual
I
reality
think
sometimes.
somebody like him is going to have a big impact on VR reaching people that haven't tried VR yet. But I think people like us are going to have the biggest impact in terms of what we think of the game.
I think what happens is, and this is what I've said before, and only because developers have told me, because I was under the assumption when, and what the game, I think we've heard it before and talked about it, is to the top. Jacksepticeye played it, 4 million something views. Developers are like, yes, this is brilliant. No sales. No sales really come from it. Maybe a few, but nothing for a 4 million view video. They're thinking, dude, this. And basically, through time, they've learned, and I think that's how Fast Travel learned as well. You've got to reach out for communities. You've got to reach out for the people who've got a solid base. So I think, or even talk about gaming. Do you know what I mean? Like PewDiePie played a game, it'll make it look fun. It'll be like a 15-minute video of probably a bit of nonsense and funniness, and it'll look amazing, and then it'll be done. And then they'll be like, oh, I need to know more about this. You know, I need to know what headset I could play it on. I need to know are there other players using it? Has anyone else done a full playthrough? Has anyone done a review of it? Blah 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 blah. And I think that's what happens, and that's how some people end up on other channels or smaller channels like ours. That's what I think happens. Ham was bringing up something about restreaming, and I think if you are restreaming 720p at 30 frames, the chat has moved on. That's the most compatible across all platforms without paying for transcoding. And he's right, yeah. Like basically, streaming gaming at 1080p, if you're especially on Restream, isn't great. Basically, it's not good for certain things like maybe Facebook and Twitch, something like that. There is things involved, and I know that 720p at 30 frames is the safest bet for giving people a good stream. But I seem to be okay with the 60 frames a second. It seems to be going well. Papa Chicken has arrived, everyone. You know, so make sure you make a fuss about that. Keith Hunt says I'll be upgrading my PC next year. Need to get an i7 CPU and at least a 1080 GPU. Do you know what? The 1080, man, is so expensive. I think the 2080 was cheaper than the 1080 at some points because it's like almost a collectible. Do you know what I mean? And it's been overclocked, and people have done so much to this card that I didn't understand it, because that's the card that someone put me towards the 1080, and I was like, yeah, I think it was over £900 for the 1080, and I was like, why would I buy that when I know the 2080 is already there? But yeah, man, you got to do what you got to do. Let me know how you get on. Honasu is really good to chat in the Discord for anything PC related. He's really cool like that. Golfer, how you doing? Glad I made it for you in your stream. Yeah, you too, man. How was your Christmas? I hope everyone had a good Christmas and is looking forward to the new year. Anyone who's new to VR, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. And yeah, so what's that? Christmas was Gucci this year. Superb, man. Superb. So yeah, guys, are you anything else you want to talk about at all today at all?
No, just to wish everybody a happy new year, and don't drink too much, and try and keep your promises for resolutions. I will.
I don't know what my New Year's resolution is going to be, because if I choose to lose weight again, I will lose the weight, but then I'll put it back on again because that's part of the fun.
I got a resolution for you. Buy the missus those Jimmy Choos.
No, I'm not buying
She
any Jimmy
deserves them.
Choos. I did mean the 1080 Ti. Sorry, yeah, that's what I did. Oh, Grambo, thank you. That is exactly what I meant. Yeah, versus 2080. Yeah, 2080 RTX will keep VR. Yeah, I do want to upgrade to a 2080. I've got a 2070, and to be fair, it does seem to be doing a bloody good job. Recently, I've changed my encoding using OBS for those who care about this sort of stuff. To go for, is it X264 or HX264, whatever it is, over the NVIDIA. Which is because basically, if you go for NVENC, that will use, and you've got an NVIDIA card, it will use your graphics card to do your encoding. As if you go for H.264, it will use your CPU. And it was a hard thing because I've got like an i9 Intel, and I was sort of wondering where I was going to go with this, and I think I'm going to stick with going with the CPU for the encoding. I'm thinking that's what I need to do. But yeah, cool. You're on call New Year's Eve, dude. I'm working New Year's Eve as well and New Year's Day. So, what about the rest of you guys working at all? Nat?
I'll be off New Year's.
Oh, nice.
I know I'm definitely working New Year's Eve. I think I'm off New Year's Day though.
But I will miss my computer not being able to play PC VR. But again, the Quest and the PlayStation VR get me through.
So have you got no PC VR at the moment?
No. What it feels like is that
Ring up Floyd.
good luck with that. Having to go through 36 bodyguards to get to him, so
you'll make it. Be fine.
No, he's a real hard person to get a hold of. It's a situation where when he wants to see the family, he he has one of our relatives that basically acts like as a liaison between us and him, and she organizes everything when he wants to see the family.
I take it he has to have security and stuff and all the rest of it, does he, and all that crap, or?
See, it depends on what he wants to do. Like, for instance, he came into town a couple of years ago and he rented out like half the section of a restaurant and had it closed off, and all the employees had their cell phones taken away. And then later on that night, he wanted to see a movie, so he rented out an entire movie theater where it was just us in there, and nobody from the public when it was in there. It was just us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, because I guess you couldn't be able to watch a film in peace, for sure,
No,
or eat in peace.
Because like the restaurant incident that I'm talking about, even though we had half the restaurant, kind of closed off, it wasn't curtained off. So when people recognized that he was in there, then a lot of people were like coming as close as they could without stepping over the line,
Yeah.
and pulling out their phones and taking pictures and videos and everything. So
yeah, must be hard.
I've seen it get really hectic at times.
That's a bloody good question. JD says, what movie did you see?
Oh God.
In the meantime, Scheme says, love my PSVR, but I'm currently saving my first PC, buying all the parts one by one every now and then. Got most of the parts set, the motherboard, CPU, and GPU. Getting an i9, nice dude. Yes, you're going to have a better setup than I am, because I've got that CPU, but my GPU is the 2070. Good luck. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on what you got. Jump into the Discord if you want to talk to anyone about getting help with that setup as well. Do you remember what the film is? I think I'd remember if someone rented out a whole cinema to watch a film.
No, I wasn't terribly interested in it.
Oh, right, okay, no worries. You was just doing.
But I did eat like a pig though, because that place was pretty expensive.
Mandalore the Ultimate City. This is a general. I have no idea what that is about.
No.
But good luck to you. Thank you for jumping in. Yeah, so guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being for the last episode of the VR Link. It's been a great journey. I'm not sure how many episodes we've done. I didn't know we would start numbering them or not, but this must be like what, the 15th maybe? I'm not sure. How many have we done altogether?
I'm not sure either.
Definitely more than 15.
Really? I'm not sure.
Mm.
My memory is terrible for stuff like that.
How many episodes had you done before you offered me a spot on the VR Link?
Do you know what I can do quickly is quickly go to the playlist, because everything I do has playlists. All my Quest videos, all my Rift videos, all the VR Link
the only
videos.
reference I have is going back to because when I accepted the position, I know I made a video about it.
He did accept the position, bless him. That's lovely. That's so sweet. Where are we? Apparently there's 45 episodes.
Yeah,
and it looks like it turned into the VR Link. Got some developer interviews there. The one with Telefrag. Oh man, what happened to that game, dude? What happened to that game?
No. I do get the feeling that some of these developers are waiting for the PS5 to bring their games over there.
Okay, I'm not sure. It looks like I'd done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 episodes of my own. 8 episodes of just me talking. And then I'm thinking that is the one in June. Might have been the first episode in June. Really? I couldn't be going that long, have I?
Yeah, because I got banned, didn't I? On the second or third week from YouTube. If you remember, I turned
Wow.
around and said, and that was an E3 thing. So that was May, I think.
Yeah, crazy. Actually, looking at us, I'm just looking at us now. Nah, it's summer, man. You look really hot with your unicorn hat on. Yeah, crazy. Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah, I can't believe it's going that long. Thank you for all your support this year. I can't believe it. I can't believe we've been going that long. That's amazing. That
And
is really
thank you,
amazing.
GT, for putting this all together.
Mate,
Absolutely, thank you.
thank you for being here. Honestly, thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you for all your donations. Everyone who's become a channel member. Thank you for just doing everything this year. It's been amazing. It's been a really cool journey, and sometimes I have to like think, wow, like you have to look at what you got, and I feel very privileged, and thank you all for being here. Cheers, guys. Oh, what we got
Take
here?
care.
Should we check out? Great show, chaps. Thank you, Decepticon. Cheers, man. Pepper Chicken, thank you. JD, Scheme, VR Bug, thank you all. Vintage Ham, cheers, guys. Drew, Guy Son. We're looking at, mate. I can't wait for 2020. It's gonna be absolutely sick. It's
It'll
gonna
be
be,
fun.
yeah, man. And remember to check out these guys' channels, please. Obviously, jump over to Nat 7 Degrees of Gaming, South to Catch Up, VR. Check him out, and Lincoln Clay from Lincoln Clay 670. And that's us out. Thank you very much. You're going to do
Take
it.
care, guys.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Lincoln. He
Yeah.
usually does his thing at the end.
Before I give the Wakandan send off, I do want to say to everybody, I love hearing stories about people getting new headsets. So please keep us posted through Twitter, through the Discord, or even comment sections of our videos of getting headsets. And again, send me a friend request through the Oculus app or Steam or something, because it's all the same. Lincoln_Clay with a capital K, Klay. So keep us posted. I love hearing these stories. I love, hearing what people, first impressions of VR for those who don't have it. So with that being said, Wakanda forever.
See you later, guys. Thank you ever so much. Bye-bye.